Valley Vikings football on 95.5 The Rock.
And welcome, Smoky Valley football fans. This is Don Banks along with Doug Snyder, Jason Snyder, and we're live at Anderson Stadium, Lynchburg Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College, where tonight the Smoky Valley Vikings, for the first time in 3 or 4 years, will close out the regular season at home, not in a playoff situation, but just the 9th game of the regular season, and that's a little odd tonight, Doug. It seems like it should go on a little longer.
Yeah, it is a little odd, but not for lack of effort. This group of young men and this team has had just a bunch of games this year where they have competed extremely hard, played well, just had some miscues along the way, but just couldn't quite get over the hump from that along the way until last week when they just executed and played so well against a very volatile Rock Creek team that came in here and I think thought they had a really good chance of running the table and looking deep into the playoffs. But the Vikings showed up last week and really played a heck of a game.
Yeah, they did. It was a focus game, and it was one of those games where what the coaching staff had been talking about all season long, these kids aren't giving up. They're working hard. They're getting better every week, and it really did culminate last week. But now you got a team that we've never seen before, Wichita Trinity, out of Wichita, of course, and they a little depleted on their lineup. They got only 30 kids on their roster, but only 18 or 19 have suited up tonight. So it's one of those games where it's kind of a trap game in a way because you don't want to feel sorry for him, but yeah, you got to go out and play your game.
Yeah, and it's got to be kind of hard for our team to be able to prepare for that. All the film we watched this week and everything to get ready was probably with a number of those guys playing. I know we heard that they had about 7 season-ending injuries throughout the course of the season. They also had a number of players that did double duty, some playing soccer and football, and had to make a decision now that they've got to the postseason, and many of them chose to go the soccer route. And so it is a depleted group, but, going down that list of who we see the starters being tonight, there's not a quarterback listed there as far as a starter. So it'll be interesting to see who they have at the quarterback position tonight and what exactly they're going to bring. Again, maybe the scouting report is completely out the window tonight, and it's just going to be a lot of freelance. So, we may have to make a lot of adjustments to what we wanted to do out of the gate and hopefully be able to attack their depleted secondary and their depleted line. Again, it's one of the strengths of this team is our ability to wear down teams, and we did that, I think, last week to Rock Creek. It's going to be important for us, I think, to do that tonight with a team of just 18 players on the other side.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be fun to see, and it'll be one of those games where you got to make your priority what you need to do and take care of business on your side of the football and see what happens on the other side of the ball. But it's the last night of football tonight. The playoffs will go on. Smoky Valley will not be competing in the playoffs this year, and so it's kind of a sad moment to realize that the season does end after the 9th game, but that'll get everybody ready for postseason, and postseason is on us as far as cross country goes because Ryan Helene and Gracie Lambert are on their way to Rimrock, and they're running tomorrow morning.
They are. It should be a really nice day for it. Probably a little cool tomorrow morning when Gracie gets ready to run. I believe she starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I think Ryan Helene is on about 11:30, 11:45, so it should be warming up. I think the highs are looking like the mid-50s or lower 50s up around Lawrence tomorrow. So exciting for those guys. They're heading up that way this evening, going to be listening to us on the radio as well. So we definitely want to wish the two of them the best of luck and go out there and compete. And what a great season for them. Great season for volleyball, unfortunately ending a little too soon last weekend at Sub-State in the semifinal round there, but a great season with a lot of young players. So you're right, it is postseason time, and like you said, unfortunately these Viking football players don't get to play in the playoffs like usual, but they've learned a lot about themselves this year. They've learned a lot about that perseverance, how to stick to things, and like you said, never gave up and executed things the way they've known they can do it all season long last week.
We'll take our first time out. When we come back, we'll talk about some statistics on the season. You're listening to the Smoky Valley Football Back after this.
Lynchburg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lidsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
Vernon Jewelers in downtown Salina is the perfect place to get that one-of-a-kind item for yourself or that special someone. Vernon Jewelers, located at 123 North Santa Fe in downtown Salina, is a proud supporter of area athletics.
Give us a call at Hometown Outdoor Power in Salina, Minneapolis, and McPherson to get your mowers. Sign up for our winter service program. Don't forget to ask about the early sign-up promotion when you call.
Game day starts and finishes at Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg. Located at 101 North Main, this upscale one-of-a-kind establishment offers a wide variety of food and drink specials. Try their seasonal items or their world-famous Monte Cristo. Then wash it down with an ice-cold beer or tall glass of wine. Farley's Bar and Grill at the corner of Lincoln and Main in downtown Lindsborg. Farley's, your game day headquarters for the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings broadcast.
And welcome back to Smoky Valley Football. Don Bingson along with Doug Snyder, Jason Snyder, Jared Bass working the controls for us once again, doing a great job as he always does. Trey Kennedy leading the rushing department with 146 carries, 688 yards. So even if he has a big night of 150 to 200 yards, he's not going to break that 1,000-yard barrier. But we were just happy a few weeks ago that we started getting some 100-yard rushers. So Trey Kennedy and Raleigh Wilson have kind of been the 1-2 punch for us on the ground.
They really have. They've done such a nice job of giving us that edge runner and also giving us that interior runner. And, even last week, Andrew Peters breaking the big run, 60-something yards, if I remember correctly, being able to take one to the house, too. You just knew he had that explosiveness in him. So you're right. I think Trey has persevered through a lot of difficulties this year and a lot of hard times, but he always seemed to bounce right back up and get after it. And same thing, Raleigh hitting the middle, working his tail off in there. And Jake Lucas really coming around well this year, too.
He's got 33 of 75 for 426 yards. And, he was a slow starter because of a illness right at the beginning of the football season. So he never really kind of got that, comfortable under center and that look very good. But his favorite target is Brewster Bengtson and Haven Lysell Stewart, 7 catches each. Brand Hebel has the most yardage with 5 catches and 103 yards, and Andrew Peters right behind with 100 yards. And then on the defensive side, Raleigh Wilson leading the troops with 72 total tackles, and Haven Lysell Stewart with 63. They've been on the defensive side kind of our 1-2 punch all along.
I tell you, Haven has really come along as the year has progressed. I thought we didn't call his name a lot the first couple of games of the year, and then it felt like game 3 or game 4, all of a sudden he just seemed to come to life and really pursued the ball well, did a nice job of flow, and made plays in space well, which is something he's very capable of doing. He's a good athlete, and it's good to see him get to that point and build that confidence. Raleigh Wilson, just a hitter. He loves to come up, put his head right in there, put his nose in there, make a stop, and he's done that most of the year. And again, hats off to those whole line group of guys that we've had throughout the year. There's been some shifting and some things done there, but Grant Lysell Alkire has done a heck of a job up there. Dax Hopp, Court Shugren, of course, moving onto the line and doing a good job from a tackle perspective as well. But all those guys have just really stepped up and done some solid things.
They have. They've been a good group, and they've been working hard, and they certainly deserve what they've had, a good year, and they love to finish on a note with a 2-game winning streak and give themselves, the underclassmen, a lot of for that, get ready for the next year's games. We'll take our time out. We got an interview with Coach Lambert coming up. You'll hear some thoughts that he has on how good these kids have been to coach all year long, and we'll be back with more pregame after these words from our sponsors.
Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service, and coverage for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
And welcome back to more Viking pregame. Don Binks along with Coach Tim Lambert as you get game number 9 on your schedule. And unfortunately this year it'll be the last game of the year, but certainly a good week of practice, having a good game under your belt, a 42-21 victory over Rock Creek. That had to be a really happy way to get the seniors out on senior night.
Yeah, we really felt like that was the best we've played all year, and there were some factors involved. I think, Rock Creek, I think, is a pretty solid football team, and and we matched up better against them than we have against Halstead and Clay Center, who are our last two, or Halstead and Chapman, who are our last two opponents. And we finally got some guys on the offensive and defensive line that weren't 80 pounds more than we were, and we could block them, and that helped a lot in getting our offense going and keeping their offense off the field. I think we ran almost twice as many plays. I know our time of possession was 2 times theirs, so it was just good to be able to do that offensively once again.
Yeah, 55 plays and over 400 yards of offense. That had to feel real good. And plus 2 guys with over 100 yards. That means the offensive line is blocking really good.
Yeah, and we were able then to, because we were able to run the ball, and both Raleigh and Trey were able to get over 100 yards. Then we were able to throw the ball a little bit. I think we were 4 for 5 throwing the ball. And then we had at least one PAT reception. So if you count that, we were 5 for 6, and so that helps. When you're able to run the ball, then you can be more balanced. And we're not a team that can just sit back there and throw the ball all over the place. So we have to be able to run it.
Got an 0-8 team coming in Wichita Trinity Academy, and we always never overlook anybody. You want to go out and close out the year on a victory. What will it take to have a victory and play good on Friday night?
Well, I just want our kids to play hard. I want them to put back-to-back good preparation weeks, and then just great effort and execute well. We didn't last Friday night. We didn't lose the turnover battle. I don't know if either team had a turnover, but I think that's always important. Whether you're playing somebody that's a little better than you or somebody that people don't think are as good as you. So if you're a better team and you lose the turnover battle, you give the other team a chance to win, and vice versa. So, I think turnovers is key. And once again, we've got to be able to control the offensive when we have the ball, make first downs, make them play defense, and then our defense can play better because of that. So I think those are key for us.
And I think your defense did play. You talked about they run the spread offense, Wichita Trinity, and they similar to what Rock Creek does. So you'll maybe have a little game plan that's ready for the Trinity team tonight.
Yeah, we're not going to change a whole lot of what we did a week ago, or even when we play other spread teams. We try to we may put in a couple new blitzes or something and just give them a little different look. But most of the time we're the same, and we're excited about getting one more game, and I hope those seniors take advantage of it, and I'm sure they will, and I hope the underclassmen really play hard, knowing that it's the last time they're going to get to play with these guys.
We'll change it up a little bit, and how about any final thoughts on the senior class? How will you remember this class going out tonight?
Well, I think the biggest thing that they've shown me, and is just their ability to take Friday night's frustration and not allow it to bleed over into their attitude and to bleed over into practice. They came each week in that 5-game losing streak and worked hard and kept getting better. And even though it might not have shown, on game night that we were getting better, we felt like we were in practice. We knew we were. And so their resilience in the midst of that, we had higher expectations for the season, but they kept fighting, and I appreciate that about them.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for is hard work and dedication, and they seem like they've had it all. Good luck Friday night.
Thank you, Don.
Tim Lambert of the Vikings, and we'll be back with more pregame right after this.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
People's Bank and Trust is proud to support the Lindsborg community and the athletes at Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College. I'm Ryan Biegert, branch manager at the Lindsborg location for People's Bank and Trust, a proud native of Lindsborg, and I'm ready to be your banker. People's Bank and Trust, meeting the needs of our community and always improving the way we do business. Located at 201 South Main in Lindsborg, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Vikes and go Swedes.
The Vikings play here.
That you've heard, we also want to thank Smoky Valley Booster Club, Bank of Tuscott, Viking Auto, Christian's Funeral Home, People's Bank and Trust, Call Mari for Real Estate, Caldwell Banker Real Estate, Dr. Darrell Loader, Art Shirt, Arn Reinert CPA, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Farm Bureau, Farmer State Bank, Lindsborg Family Dental Care, Gallant Tire and Auto, Old Stuga, C&L Heating and Cooling, Midway Motors, Harry Malary, Scott's, and Dower Welding. The toss won by
Smoky Valley, and we elect to defer.
Deferred. So the Vikings will be defending the south goal and kicking toward the north, so they'll be kicking into what is a little bit of wind, but now I look at the American flag down there by the scoreboard, it pretty much limp, so it looks like the wind has kind of died down. Even the Vimple things on the top of the goalpost are pretty calm, so Wichita Trinity will see their offense firsthand here. Limited number of players they have there tonight, and their numbers are the same color as their uniform, so it's going to be very difficult for us to see who's who out there, so we're going to do our best, but we need to go out there with a little magic marker and paint them up a little bit for them.
Jason, some initial keys to victory?
Yeah, Anderson Body Shop is the place for all of your auto collision needs. They're also your local Green Mountain Grill distributor, located at 214 South Cole Street in Lindsborg. And really, I think it comes down to just being physical and no big plays.
20-yard line is where the kick lands. It's picked up there and returned to the 30, and that's where Wichita Trinity Knights will start first and 10. And boy, I'll tell you, it is going to be a battle all night long to see who ends up with the ball and even the starting quarterback. I'll have to find out who our starting quarterback is for them.
We'll have to talk micros into zooming in really close on these if we can, because it'll be tough. But looks like number 14 might be back there, but it is hard to tell, isn't it?
It is. We'll see what we line up. Ball's going to be spotted. Well, they haven't spotted a ball yet, have they? Yeah, there it is at the 32-yard line. So Wichita Trinity going to bunch three receivers toward the left side. It's a shotgun formation.
I think it is number 40 back there.
Looks like number 40 back there. Going to quick pass it in the flat, and it bounces over there, incomplete. Should be second down and 10. Yeah, they kind of just spread everybody out and just see what we can do. And number 40 was warming up earlier doing the punting duty, so he may kind of be the jack of all trades at number 40.
Yeah, it's Grant Dunham. He's a 6'3", 268-pound senior. He's listed as a tight end for them, but he's a good-sized fellow back there, but he did not look extremely comfortable on that first pass.
No, he didn't. Vikings defense will get them set for you here in a little bit. They do a two-safety. Peters and Kennedy, Brewster Binkson and Brandt Hebel are the corners. Number 40, Dunham's going to run it himself, and he runs into a wall. He's actually looks like he's going to lose a yard. It's going to be third down and long for the Knights.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who got there first. Might have been Raleigh Wilson in there quickly, but he met him hard right when he tried to hit that hole in the A gap there and did an excellent job of stymieing him and not allowing him to move any further.
Dax Hop in the middle along with Skylar Hopkins in there, number 77. Justin Holt done a good job all year long. And on the other side, it's Grant Lysell Alcar. They're going to send three receivers to the near side, one to the far side, plus a flanker to the far side. So it's an empty backfield for Dunham. He's going to drop back, quick step, going to be out in the flat, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Over there on coverage was Court Shugren, one of the linebacking crew, and incomplete. So it's going to be a 3-and-out on the first set for Wichita Trinity.
Yeah, we said on the first pass it didn't look real comfortable. That was a pretty good throw right over the outstretched hand of Court Shugren. I couldn't quite tell who the receiver was over there, but it hit him right in the hands. Looked like he had a good chance at getting the reception and dropped it right at the stick there, 10 yards short, but it's going to be fourth down now for Trinity.
Dunham is doing the punting as the kick is away, a high wobbly kick. Peters is going to let it run and roll, and it's going to bounce away from him and go inside the 30-yard line down to about the 27, where it has a little boost from what little breeze there is. And that's where the Vikings will have it 1st and 10.
Yeah, nice 42-yard punt there. Like you mentioned, jack of all trades tonight, number 40, Dunham being the quarterback and then also punting, and a nice little punt to get them out of their own end. Now we get a chance to see the Viking offense, who really exploded last week, putting up 42 points on the board. And it'd be nice to see that continue here into this next week.
First possession for Smoky Valley. The defense did their job on the first one. Brewster Bengtson will go wide to the far side. Brand Hebel will be a flanker to the near side. I formation behind Jake Lucas, who goes under center here. Just underway, first possession for Smoky Valley. Turn and hand it off on a toss, trying to get Kennedy. He's got some room outside. He's going to get a yard, maybe 2, before making the tackle, number 51, among others. I don't think we have a 51 in the program. Maybe it's 50.
Yeah, it looks like 51, doesn't it? But 44 was definitely in there. I saw Elliot Cozine in there making a tackle. I think there might have even been a 21 in there. That was David Spencer.
Might have been.
Only a couple of yards gained there, but I do see a 51 out there, so they're trying to give us a hard time here and make it difficult on us. So maybe that one skewed slightly. We'll see.
And it looks like 51 is Jack Adams.
Okay, thank you. 2nd down and 8 for Smoky Valley. I formation again. Here comes Raleigh Wilson up the middle. He's got room. He's going to get to the outside. He's got the 40, 45, near midfield. Cuts it back toward the middle. Still on his feet at the 40, 30, 25, and rolled down inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone about the 18-yard line. Great run for Raleigh Wilson.
A great run by Raleigh Wilson, and puts the Vikings in the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. 54 yards on that run by Raleigh Wilson around the left side of the line. And, we mentioned Trey being the edge runner, but you get Raleigh in space, he's got some wheels.
He got out there and he said, well, if you guys, Kennedy and Andrew Peters, both had big runs last week, I can get it done this week. And he showed right there. Wide receiver Bengtson to the far side. I formation again behind Lucas. Here comes Kennedy slicing in there, and he's going to get down near the 10-yard line, where it's going to be 2nd down and about 5.
Yeah, nice hard run. That was just off that right side. A little bit of a B-gap look there for Kennedy, not really on the edge as much. Again, trying to kind of gash some holes in that front line of the Trinity defense and continue to wear them down, which, like we said before, something the Vikings are usually very good at as time goes on.
2nd down, and we'll call it 5 for the Vikings, as they got the big run and got in scoring position inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Peters will be out wide to the near side. Tight end on the near side as well. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Turns and hands it off to Wilson. First man through, powering his way down inside the 10. Looks like the ball might have come out. No, he's still churning. He's in there for a touchdown. Touchdown, Raleigh Wilson. I thought the ball came loose. It looked like some scrambling, but he was still churning and takes it in for 6.
That first guy that made contact with him got a hold of the ball and was trying to free it from Raleigh's grasp. Raleigh just kind of shedded that tackler, had his arm down low to where it looked like the ball might have escaped, but it didn't, and he just kept going. I think he carries 3, 4, maybe even 5 Trinity defenders into the end zone. What a great run by Raleigh Wilson, who is coming out and playing an extremely hard game.
Vikings get on the board first, 2-point conversion. I formation. This time the ball does get away, and the 2-point conversion is no good. But our score with 8:39 left to go, first quarter. Smoky Valley breaks out on top 6-0. Back with the ensuing kickoff right after this.
Do you feel the need for seed? How about the need to save? Get both with the early pay discount from Phelps Seed, your Pioneer sales professional. Buy before December 12th and your fields will get Pioneer's award-winning seed and technology, and you'll get some big-time savings. That's Phelps Seed.
Bethany College senior night in the volleyball inside Hahn Gym right to our south here. Bethany volleyball girls are having an excellent season, tied or maybe in second by themselves now, but they are having their senior night as well. And here the Vikings break on top 6-0 as the 2-point conversion failed. This kickoff is bouncing on the ground. It's going to go out of bounds, so that'll be a penalty on the Vikings. Wichita Trinity will have it first and 10 at the 35-yard line. A 4-play, 73-yard drive for Smoky Valley on that opening drive, and that really culminated or was highlighted by Raleigh Wilson's nice big run.
Yeah, Raleigh had a couple of really big plays, including the touchdown, but obviously the big run earlier, 54 yards if I'm not mistaken, and then finishing off, was it a 10-yard or 11-yard run for the score? 12-yard run for the score. And really just a heck of a run. He just carried people with him into that end zone.
I could have swore the ball came out. I thought everybody was just lunging for but it was like you said, they just shedded the blocker, the tackler, and did such a great job. Little odd formation with the wide receiver to the left, way deep in the backfield. Now he comes running across. Quarterback Dunham's going to take it and run. He runs into a group of Vikings for a 2-yard loss, second down and 12.
Yeah, not a lot of hat on hat there in the front. The Vikings are kind of having their way with that front line of Wichita Trinity. I think almost all 4 of the interior linemen or the front line there were through on that particular possession. It was a little bit of a delay as they ran the guy across on a green sweep or on a little shuffle sweep there, and he ends up keeping it and doesn't gain an inch. He actually loses a yard.
Uses a couple of yards, second down and 12. Dropping back to pass, looking in the middle, now looking near side, caught up the middle. And near first down yardage across the 40 up to about the 42. Brewster Binkson on the tackle. Looks like number 1, I believe, on the catch for Wichita Trinity. Good yardage, third down and 3.
Yeah, nice catch by Keyshawn Martin. Nice throw by Dunham as well. Again, not sure if that's their normal quarterback or not, but it looks like maybe pressed into service a little bit tonight. Not sure because we're not really up on that, but a pretty good throw right in the middle of the little zone coverage there that the Vikings had set up, and picks up about 9 yards on the play.
Third down and 3 for their initial first down. Wide receiver to the near side, 1 to the far side. Flanker under center goes Dunham this time. The big quarterback going to turn and hand it off. No, he's going to try to keep it and go around. Now it's a pitch late, trying to get outside and near first down yardage again. Good effort, second and third effort. But he's going to look like it'd be a little bit short. But that was kind of a little mix-up of play. First, it looked like he was going to hand it off up the middle, and then he kept it himself, then a late pitch.
Yeah, Miko Lumapas on that run, and he did. It looked like a little fake, a little couple of option looks there where he faked the fullback. The Vikings were deep in the backfield. They actually had a hold of the quarterback there for just a bit, and then a quick pitch over there to Miko, who gets it around the edge, but is quickly tackled over there by Andrew Peters, pushing him down and getting him out of bounds.
They are going to go ahead and punt, fourth down and 2, so they're not going to take a chance and give the Vikings a short field. High snap, but Dunham brings it down. A good kick in the back. Peters up inside near the 15 where he bobbles it momentarily. Now gets away, gets up to the 15 and driven out of bounds near the 20-yard line. So almost a danger little play there, but Andrew ends up hanging on to it and gets a little positive yardage on the return. So the Vikings will have it first and 10. Ball looks like it's going to be set at the 22-yard line.
Another nice punt, about 42, 43 yards on that punt. It was a good punt. Drove him back deep there. Andrew again trying to get the ball. It takes a good Smoky Valley hop, picks it up on one bounce and is able to get the ball out to the 22-yard line and give the Vikings a chance here on their second drive of the first quarter, leading 6-0.
Flanker Hebel to the near side. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Second Viking possession. They lead it 6-0. Second man through. Kennedy's going to try to go through the middle. Churning up near first down yardage and across the first down marker up to near the 34-yard line. So good running by Kennedy on that play.
Yeah, Kennedy driving hard to get through there and just, again, picking up yards. He had a guy that grabbed him about 3 or 4 yards into that possession or that play, and he just kept pulling him the rest of the way to pick up about 11, and it was a good, hard-nosed run.
6 minutes left in the first quarter. Vikings up 6-0 after they no good on the 2-point conversion on their first touchdown. We haven't set the Viking linemen for you. We'll get them here momentarily. Flanker is Peters to the near side this time with I formation. Now Peters in motion to the far side. Turns and hands it off to Kennedy, trying the middle again. He's got some room. He's across the 40 near first down yardage once again. And Trey Kennedy with 2 first down yardage, 2 more than 10-yard carries behind the line of Court Shugren, Grant Lysell, Alkire, Dax Hopp, Tevin Duncan, and Skylar Hopkins doing a great job in that front five.
Yeah, nice tackle there by Grant Dunham, but not before, as you mentioned, Kennedy getting about 10 yards and picking up another Viking first down as they're just continuing to move the football downhill here against this Wichita Trinity defense.
The I formation is Wilson is the fullback and Kennedy is the tailback. Now flanker in motion is Hebel to the far side. Going to go out and look in the flat for the pass, and it's over the head of the intended receiver, Hebel. So we talked how much Jake Lucas has kind of settled into the quarterback position, but that time just over the head of the intended receiver.
Yeah, and he was in a little bit of duress that time. There was a player from Wichita Trinity who was coming off the edge there. Hard to see the number, but he was back there in the backfield quickly. It looked like he had to throw the ball up and over just a little bit. He actually had Hebel short, and he had Brewster Bankston breaking deep about 15, 20 yards up the field. So he had some guys on levels and had some looks. I expect us to go back to that again later.
Wishbone formation this time, first time for the Vikings behind Lucas. Here comes Wilson, the first man through, getting near midfield, now driven backwards up to the 49-yard line is where they'll spot it, and it's going to be third down and 4 for the Vikings.
A nice tackle again by Dunham, and also Keyshawn Martin coming up to help finish him off from his corner position. But again, hard run by Raleigh Wilson right up the middle. If Dunham doesn't get a hold of him there, I think he's probably got another 5 or 10 yards because he slowed him up just enough to allow some reinforcements to come in and finish off the play.
He's playing kind of nose tackle, but he's more of a middle linebacker. He just takes up a lot of space there in the middle. Wishbone formation again. Here comes the second man through. Kennedy gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but has first down yardage and more. He could go 30, 20, 10, a foot race, and Kennedy wins the foot race. A 52-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, beautiful run and beautiful blocking out here on the edge. It was a great job by Trey Kennedy of being able to pick his way through. You mentioned that he was tripped up a little bit right there at the line of scrimmage by a outside linebacker coming in. But once he got around it, he dipped and ducked his way through there and was able to wait for a couple of edge blocks here from Raleigh Wilson and also Andrew Peters and Court Shugren out there as well, and they free him up and get him for a 52-yard Viking score to put the Vikings up 12-0.
Go for 2 on the wishbone formation. Lucas under center. Turns and toss, trying to get Peters out the outside. He's going to cut it up toward the middle, and good. Our score with 4:23 left to go in the first quarter. Smoky Valley on top, 14-0. Back with the kickoff right after this.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Bank of Texas. Generations of confidence, relationships.
Matchup, Friends and Bethany tomorrow in Wichita. Tonight I mentioned the volleyball team going at their senior night tonight already for the Bethany College women too, so they're having a good year at that. But here at Smoky Valley football, wanting to finish the year with a two wins, and they look like they're on their way tonight.
Yeah, great start for Wilson and for Kennedy. Kennedy 5 carries, 80 yards here in the first 7.5 minutes, and Wilson has 3 carries for 71 yards, so 151 yards among the two of them.
Yeah, it's a big play. Kennedy's kickoff. High end over end kick, and it'll be taken about the 15-yard line, 20 coming near side. Now trying to cut it back to the middle, and right at the 25-yard line is where the Knights will start. 1st and 10, their third possession, and it's been 2 3-and-outs.
Yeah, they're trying to execute, and they executed a little bit better on that second possession than they did on the first. But again, the Vikings are in the backfield so quickly, it's been difficult for Dunham to be able to find a lot of options. He did complete one 9-yard pass there in the second drive, but the Vikings have been all over it otherwise.
Yeah, they have. They've been playing really good defense, and that's what you need to do, even though you know you're a more talented team than your opponent. You still have to focus and play strong. 2 receivers each way for the Knights on this time. Dunham in the backfield all alone. Now he puts a man in motion. Now goes deep motion. Now he takes a pitch deep on the outside, trying to cut it back up the middle. He'll get back to near the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and long.
Yeah, beautiful tackle in there. That looked like Court Shugren making the tackle. One of those little roundabout sweeps in the backfield where they go back behind the quarterback for the toss, allowing him the opportunity to be able to turn the ball upfield when he feels the need. And in this scenario, he ends up not picking up any yards, actually losing about one before Shugren was able to get in there and pin him.
3 receivers near side, 2 to the far side for Dunham this time. So empty backfield for the Knights, dropping back, looking to far side, now looking down the middle, and tipped by his intended receiver. I think he was actually going for the long ball to Martin, but he the short guy tipped it, maybe trying to tip it to him. I don't know.
I think if Cozine doesn't touch that ball across the under, it's probably caught by Martin, and it might be a foot race there between him and Andrew Peters because he was able to get a couple of steps deeper, and I thought the ball was right on if it's not tipped. So a little bit of help on behalf of Wichita Trinity for us there, being able to stop that play.
So 3rd down and long for the Knights here. Call it 11. 3:38 left to go. First quarter action. Vikings up 14-0. They've scored on their first 2 possessions. Now Dunham has a back in the backfield who quickly goes outside. Now throwing it back to him. And boy, Raleigh Wilson right on top of the intended receiver. I don't know if he was there before the ball got there. Maybe he was still behind the line of scrimmage, so it's not pass interference. But he had contact pretty early on that defensive play.
I'll tell you, it was right around the 25-yard line. That looks like about right where they have the ball set, and so he might have still been considered in the backfield there. And so Raleigh was right on top of that play. Actually snuffed out the little mid-screen look there. It was almost a rollout to the near side of the field and throw the ball right back to the middle. But Wilson was there and able to make the stop, and it's going to be 4th down.
I know their coach came out arguing with the official on that side, looking a little bobble on the punt, but he gets it away. It's a low line drive punt that takes a nice roll, but it's not going to get to midfield. And the Vikings will have short field position this time on their next drive.
Yeah, they moved that out to about the 49. Look a little bit further maybe than what it looked like from up here, but nice save by Dunham back there because that snap came back low, took a hop. Looked like in the backfield might have been Dax Hop, actually, almost able to get the block. He gets it off quickly and at least gives him a little bit of space here for the Vikings' 3rd drive.
3rd drive starts at the 49-yard line of Wichita Trinity Knights. The Vikings will go wishbone formation this time. Good long play count. Turn and hands it off to Peters coming through the middle. He's got some room. He's down to near the 40-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and short for Smoky Valley.
Yeah, nice run by Andrew Peters. Again, mixing things up as far as who they're giving the football to. This time, Andrew comes off that back edge there, able to slice and dice his way down and pick up about 8.5 yards there on a 1st down run.
There was some football games last night. I already got our first score from our Rockingham Media Group. El Saline and Oakley are tied up 0-0 after 1 quarter. Here the Vikings have a 14-0 lead, just under 3 minutes left in our first quarter. Here comes Raleigh Wilson up the middle, kicking it outside, got some room, 1st down yardage and near the 32-yard line.
Yeah, again, just churning those legs, getting over the first tackle, able to really use that yard after contact, getting contact early on, but continuing to pull players down and taking that down for a 1st down about the 32.
Good effort by the front group, blocking well for the Vikings. Haven Lysell Stewart is the wide receiver, the tight end on the far side. 2 receivers now come outside on the near side, Brant Hebel and Brewster Binkson. I formation behind the quarterback, a little slip screen inside to Brewster Binkson. He's got it across the 30, down to the 25, trying to cut back and stay in play, and he's near the 20-yard line. But it'll be 1st down yardage for Smoky Valley on that play.
A little screenplay in the Vikings repertoire that we haven't seen a lot of this year, but this is one of the things that we do like to use. And I tell you, what a great block over here on the edge by Brant Hebel. He sized his guy up, made sure he got his head around the front, and was able to make the block and spring Brewster for a little bit of a pickup here for a 1st down.
Binkson and Peters both wide to the far side this time. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Tight end is Haven Lysell Stewart on the near side. Here comes Wilson with a gaping hole up the middle. Turns and gets close to the 10-yard line, but he's going to be dropped about the 11. Inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Low rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. That was a pretty big hole that even I could have run through and got a couple yards.
I'd get through that hole. I'm not sure how far I would get, but I tell you, he's wearing people out in that backfield. Number 21 on the tackle there, Spencer, and he got up a little gingerly after that play.
Second down and short for the Vikings. Brant Hebel in motion to the near side. Here comes Kennedy trying to get outside. He gets away from one tackler. Kind of go to the corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Kennedy found the seam and got it in from the 11-yard line, and the Vikings have their third touchdown in as many possessions.
Yeah, beautiful drive by the Vikings. Started out here about the 49-yard line, so a 49-yard drive. Wrapped up there by Trey Kennedy taking the ball to the near side of the field on the sweep. Gave it a little hesitation move there on the edge. Got them to slow up and then hit the bursts and was able to get around the outside and dive across the goal line for the Vikings' third score.
Point after attempt kick this time, and it is good by Brandon Malm. And our score with 1:18 left to go in the first quarter, 21-0 Vikings. Back with the kickoff after this 30-second timeout. Big a school Wichita Trinity Knights are. I'll try to look that up because I do have the new classifications here, which we have. So they are a 4A school, but they what was that? A lot of noise up above us here on the something sound like a fireworks going off. But the Vikings have a 21-0 lead. They haven't done much wrong here in this first possession or first quarter, I mean. Kennedy to approach the ball. High end over end kick going to be taken this time right at the 20-yard line. 25 trying to get the gap to the middle. He's going to be picked up by Shugren and Kennedy and dropped right about the 26-yard line.
Vikings putting up 200 yards of offense to this point with 1:13 left in the first quarter to 6 total yards for Trinity. So 200 to 6, although the Vikings have only had 14 plays compared to the 9 plays that Wichita Trinity have run.
A couple more scores. Central and Andover. Salina Central and Andover are tied 0-0. Mays South over Salina South 10-0.
Clearwater up on Heston 7-0 in the second quarter.
Dunham will go under center this time for the Knights. Toss trying to get to the near side, but good position by Dax Hop to make him go outside or keep him from going outside. Turns it up the middle, and he's got a lot of help there coming in the middle.
Yeah, set him right back up the middle. Haven Lysell Stewart there, Justin Holt there. Both of them were waiting, but a great job by Dax Hop of getting on the edge, doing his job, and turning the runner back into the flow of the defense and allowing those players to make the play.
Tristan Stanbaugh in there right now, Brandon Malm in there. It's going to be a lot of work for us to get the names of all these guys who are coming in here because there'll be a lot of substitutions in and out of this game. A lot. Stanbaugh has played quite a bit as a freshman.
He has. Justin Holt has as well. It's been nice to see those guys in the game and getting their feet wet.
I formation this time behind Dunham. Long play count, turn and hand it off. No, he's going to pass, looking to pass. And I don't know if it's a pass or a fumble. Looks like white hat officials pointing to somebody out there in the flat. So it could have been ruled a fumble because he was kind of hit as he was letting it go, but he did get his arm in motion, and it falls as an incomplete pass. But it's going to be 3rd down and 15 yards. The last running play was a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, some more scores from around the league at this point in time. Colby is up 14-0 on Nickerson. We've got Phillipsburg up 14-0 on Lyons, and Hillsborough up 7-0 on Pleasanton.
Hillsborough back on our schedule next year. We'll also at halftime talk about Smoky Valley's schedule for the next 2 years and who we have to play. 3 receivers near side for the Knights, 2 to the far side now in motion. But Dunham dropping back to pass, going to go deep with the ball floating up in the air. It's a freebie in and out of the hands of Peters, in and out of the hands of the receiver, and falls incomplete. going to be 4th down and long.
Yeah, Andrew Peters, it looked like kind of a dying quail up there as it started to come back down. It was a little bit of a wobbly pass, not as good as the one he had thrown across the middle earlier. Peters had a chance at the interception, and then Keyshawn Martin almost snuck right around him and took it away from him. And in the end, it's just an incomplete pass, and we get a chance to see Dunham kick another one here, another punt.
He was booting them a long way in warm-up, but the wind was blowing quite a bit more. The wind has just completely died down now, so it's a beautiful evening, although cool for football. Good snap this time. High, wobbly kick. Peters is going to let it bounce about the 45 and take a Viking bounce back near midfield. We'll see where they end up spotting it. Spot it back where it ends up going about the 46-yard line. So it was first touched about the 49, but they're going to go ahead and let it be back at the 46-yard line. So that's where the Vikings will have it 1st and 10 with just 6 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, first quarter of dominance from Smoky Valley. That should, with the 5-yard loss they had, that should put it at 200 yards for the Vikings and 1 yard in that first quarter there for Wichita Trinity. Of course, barring this play from Smoky Valley.
I formation this time. Binks in the wide receiver to the near side. Peters kind of also a wide flanker almost. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Jake dropped a little bit, throw a backward pass to Peters, but he's going to take and tuck it and run. He's going to cross midfield and out of bounds near the 46-yard line. And that will be 1 second left, so they didn't run enough time off to switch the field yet. There's one more play left in this first quarter.
Coach Lambert opening up the offense here a little bit, running some unique things here. Like you mentioned, we sent Peters in motion that time, and that deep motion. We're able to make the pass there behind the line of scrimmage, trying to get some blockers out in front of him. He got a great block up the field from Brewster Bankston. Just too much pursuit there on behalf of the Trinity players, and knocks him out of bounds at the 46 after a gain of about 8.
Wide receiver Bankson to the far side. Flanker is Hebel to the near side. Tight end also on the near side, Haven Lysell Stewart. Handoff to Wilson. He's got room to go. 40, 35, foot race 30. He cuts it back toward the middle and down to the 25-yard line. So good effort by Wilson. Boy, they just get an amazing hole to start with, and they take advantage of it and get another big yardage gain. And that will be the end of the first quarter. Quarter number 2 back here after this 1-minute timeout. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football.
Lindsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home. 7-day-a-week urgent care has arrived in Lindsborg. Open now at the Lindsborg Community Hospital. 7-day-a-week urgent care is open, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. on weekends. No need to be an established patient of the Family Healthcare Clinic. Everyone can enjoy the new convenience for those things that can't wait until tomorrow, but aren't serious enough for the emergency room. 7 days a week, urgent care at Lindsborg Community Hospital.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lindsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
The Vikings play here.
Henderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College. The Vikings 21, Wichita Trinity 0 after 1. McPherson 28, Abilene 0 after 1. I think we've given you all the other scores. We'll have a few more. You had one between Collegiate and Halstead?
Collegiate up 7-0 on Halstead. That score in the second quarter as well.
Vikings have a receiver, Binkson, to the near side. Lucas dropping back, still looking on. Now he's going to tuck it and run, try to get outside. He's got some running room. He's across the 20 and down to about the 18-yard line. So he didn't like what he saw downfield and tucked it and run, and he got about a 6-7 yard gain.
Yeah, the defenders that time did a nice job for Wichita Trinity staying deep. They really didn't allow any angles for the Viking receivers, and Jake Lucas had that internal clock there in his head, deciding that he probably ought to tuck it at some point in time and go. Ends up tucking it and getting about a 7-yard gain there on the play. Nicely done by Jake Lucas.
Yeah, very good run by Lucas after he kind of avoided a couple of tackles in there and tried to get something to work. And he got it down to a 2nd down and 3 for the Vikings. 11:20 just underway here in the second quarter. I formation with a one wide receiver each way for the Vikings. Lucas Tens going to keep it himself again, try to get outside. Great play there on the defense by the Knights. And it's a loss of about a yard, so it's going to be 3rd down and 4 for the Vikings.
Yeah, nice job by the Wichita Trinity defense there, making a play and trying to make a stand here. And so puts up an interesting third and about 4 or 5 there for the Vikings. Chance to make a decision here and figure out what they want to try to do. Nice to see, you mentioned earlier, Brandon Malm coming out and kicking the extra point. Nice to see us getting that nice mix, and getting a lot of players out on the field as well.
Yeah, we'll have to do a good job of the second half. That's going to be your job because you know all these kids anyway, but we'll have to try to get them all on the air if we can. I formation behind Lucas, going to turn and hand it off to Kennedy. Trying to get down near first down yardage, and he's right at the marker.
Yeah, nice run. He really had to lower his head there. One of the Trinity defenders got in the backfield quickly. He had to step around him. Does get the ball just inside the 15-yard line, and that will be a first down for Smoky Valley.
But he did, like you mentioned, take about 3 would-be tacklers with him, so good effort by Kennedy. Shows what it does to help to work in the weight room. It just gives you that lower body strength, and he'll be somebody you might be counting on a little bit in basketball season this year.
Yeah, we will. Trey does a nice job for us, and it's good to see all these guys who have really gotten in the weight room and made that an impactful place to be.
Wishbone formation behind. Here comes Peters trying to get outside. He's got a little seam. He'll get down near the 10-yard line, so a pickup of about 5 on the play. Way to follow his blockers was Andrew Peters.
Yeah, you mentioned their names already, but what a great job this line is doing of opening up massive holes in that Wichita Trinity front line, and even into the second wave, giving our running backs an opportunity to get through and then have a chance to make a decision on where that next cut's going to be. So again, a nice gain, about 5 on the play by Andrew Peters.
Wishbone formation again behind Jake Lucas. Turn and hand it off to Kennedy. He's got some room. He's got a touchdown. Kennedy with a 10-yard touchdown run. The Vikings extend their lead. But Skylar Hopkins, Tevin Duncan, Dax Hopp, Grant Lysell Alkire, and Court Shugan, that front 5, aided by Brewster Binkson and Haven Lysell Stewart when they play tight end, that front 7. They sure do a good job, and Kennedy reaps the benefits of a 10-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, again, nice run by Kennedy, but not really a lot of contact until he's about 2 to 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, and then he's able to get into the end zone.
Another point after kick. This one not going to make it through. And our score with 9:15 left to go in the second quarter. Vikings on top 27-0. Back after this timeout.
Vernon Jewelers in downtown Philadelphia.
McPherson, get your motors signed up for our winter service program. About the early summer promotion.
Vikings just having their way here, which a game we thought they'd play good like this, and they just kind of picking up the pieces for what they set last week when they played so good against a really good Rock Creek team. They're just kind of continuing on this week.
Yeah, difficult. You and I talked a little bit about, you're a young person and you see the scores. You've seen what Wichita Trinity has been up against this year. And again, playing through their districts, there's a lot of zeros on that scoreboard for their offense. And our guys had to come in and stay motivated and stay primed and ready to go. But they have definitely executed here for this first quarter and a third.
Flip the end zone, so the Vikings are kicking off with what would have been a little bit of wind. The kickoff taken at the 20-yard line, tucking it, trying to get to the near side, and Brant Hebel, Brewster Binkson, and a couple of others in on that tackle. Court Shugan, they got Inventables. They got down there pretty quick to get that tackle and get it to a 5-yard return.
Yeah, nice job already. We want to point out with 9 minutes left here in the second quarter, Raleigh Wilson, 6 carries, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Trey Kennedy, 8 carries, 106 yards, and 3 scores for the Vikings. So 2 players already over 100 yards for the Viking in the run game.
So the Wichita Trinity has gone 3 and out. Their first 4 possessions, the Vikings have scored on each one of those. Duncan looking back and throws the ball in and out of the hands of Haven Lysell Stewart, but Duncan was under a tremendous pressure from the Viking front four.
Yeah, Court Shugan was back there in a hurry. It looked like Justin Holt was back in that area. Both players were back at the quarterback quickly and make contact as he made that throw. A little bit precarious as far as his placement there, as it was the number of Vikings right around the receiver, but the ball lands harmlessly on the ground, and that'll bring up second down for Wichita Trinity.
Second down and 10, just underway, second quarter. Vikings with a 27-0 lead. And again, if you did not come out to brave the cold, hope you're watching on live.smokyvalley.org. And now there's a stoppage of play, and I believe it's going to be a timeout. Wichita Trinity. We'll keep this one here. Again, thanking our sponsors, Midway Motors, Harry Malary, Scott's, Dower Welding, Hemsloyd, CNL Heating and Cooling, not Hemsloyd, Old Stuga, Gallant Tire and Auto, Farmer State Bank, Lindbergh Family Dental Care, Farm Bureau, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Arn Reinert CPA, call Marty at Caldwell Banker and Real Estate, Dr. Darrell Loader, Art Shirt, People's Bank and Trust, Crick Christian's Funeral Home, Smoky Valley Booster Club, Bank of Tescott, and Viking Auto. Can't read my little print I got here on top of my little box here. Hemsloyd has been a sponsor. They just didn't sponsor this year, but they might be back another year. But
Heston Clearwater 7-7 that game in the second, so Heston has evened that game up. Again, Colby up 14-0 on Nickerson. Colby's one of those teams that will be adding to our schedule next year as well. Luckily, they come to us next year, and then we'll travel to them the year after, although we have a couple of long jaunts that you're going to talk about at halftime tonight. Beloit is up 7-0 on Larned. That's the only other new score that I had there as well.
Wichita Trinity Academy has 303 students. I finally found what I was looking for there. They're facing a second down and 10 here with two receivers each way. Now a man in motion to the far side, putting three receivers on the far side. Duncan in that shotgun formation, dropping back, looking over the middle, and intercepted by Peters at the 40, 30, 25, 20, in traffic and coming inside about the 18-yard line. He just stepped in front of this receiver. He's got kind of a slow motion, but boy, he really accelerated to the ball.
Yeah, great job by Andrew just reading the quarterback's eyes that time. He had really locked into the receiver going down the middle, thought he was going to try to hit him on a deep ball, left it a little bit short. That allowed Andrew to be able to bite on that play from his safety position, make the interception right at the 40-yard line, get some nice blocking on the edge from Hebel, and he takes it all the way down to the 18-yard line where the Vikings are already in the Next Tech Wireless Red Zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, and exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Venables is now in as one of the wide receivers. Court Sugar is in as a fullback on the Vikings, and now the Vikings are going to call a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 30-second timeout with the Vikings up 27-0. Back right after this.
Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service, and coverage for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
Jason, you want to repeat what you just said about running some?
That's Andrew Peters' second interception of the season, with Raleigh Wilson's second 100-yard game of the season, and Trey Kennedy's fourth 100-yard game of the season.
Well, the yardage starting to pick up for the Vikings here in their offense late in the season. Venables, a wide receiver to the near side. Here comes number 40, Stambaugh, getting some running room, and he's getting down near the 10-yard line. So a lot of new runners in there, too, for the Vikings. That was Tristan Stambaugh.
Yeah, Tristan did a nice job for us running a little bit of fullback last year. This year, putting him at the tailback position. And I don't know if you noticed, but Court Sugren was back in his old position from earlier in the year. He was playing a little bit of fullback in there as well. So we'll try to catch up on some other numbers for you, too. Bronson Golden coming into the game at a flanker position now, or wide receiver position as well. Again, some question whether or not Court can wear number 54 in the backfield. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, he held his jersey up, pointing toward the front end, but I guess as long as he doesn't carry the ball, it doesn't matter where he blocks from. but he did have a carry, or maybe he's going to get a carry here, and he does. He pushes his way down inside the 10, got first down yardage here. It'll be first and goal for the Vikings on this short field drive after the interception.
Didn't seem like too many people were arguing about his numbers, so I think when you're playing against a team that doesn't have a lot of guys to start with, you kind of knew this might be something that you would see throughout the night here tonight, and it sure enough is a good opportunity to see Court Shugren get a chance to run the football here. Caden Venables running the play in now, so Venables and Bronson Golden trading off at that split end position, giving them some opportunities to get some playing time. Also out there, Gus Griffith, another freshman, he's out there on the line now as well.
Venables is having a tough time trying to figure out where he's going to go, and the Vikings are going to use another timeout. We'll keep this one right here. Again, wishing good luck to Gracie Lambert and Ryan Helene running cross country at Rimrock tomorrow. That's a farm located just north of Lawrence, I think. And you're going to be up in the Lawrence area, too, watching a little football action of your own, KU K-State tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go Rock Chalk tomorrow. Big win last week for KU over Texas Tech, and a huge win last week for K-State over OU as well. So good to see the Kansas schools getting it going, and also had some basketball getting going here in the last week or so with KU and K-State and Wichita State all hitting the hardwood as well. So we're getting to that transition time between fall and winter, and it's just a very, very active time and a very active game so far here for the Vikings. A couple of new names in the game as well. Number 76, Mason Morrell is out there. Brandon Malm is now on the line. We mentioned Gus Griffith. I had another name, Justin Holtz, playing a little bit on the line now as well. So excellent to see those young guys getting that opportunity here already in the first half.
I formation behind Jake Lucas, who's still in there at quarterback. First and goal for the Vikings, trying to get outside his standby. He's got a little room, and he's going to get jumped on about the 5-yard line. So he'll pick up a couple, maybe get down to the 4, and it's going to be second down and goal from the 4.
Nice run by Tristan, able to get around there, an initial defender in the backfield, but he was able to get around that defender. And like you mentioned, pick up a couple of yards there, making it a little shorter distance, like you said, second and goal from around the 5. Looks like Leroy Bean in the game now as well at the lineman position. So again, Coach Lambert moving some people in and getting some guys some time here early on.
7:09 and counting here in the second quarter. Vikings up 27-0, looking to add to their lead. Turn and hand it off to the first man through, and looks like it's going to be 6 points for Court Shugren.
Yeah, Court Shugren takes it right up the middle. Great to see Court be able to do that. Like we said, started out in that fullback position earlier in the year, and then just really needed Court on the line, and so he stepped up, made that sacrifice to be able to go up there and do what he thought was best for the team and what the coaches thought was best for the team. But getting a chance to play a little bit of fullback here again tonight and getting the ball in the end zone from 5 yards out, that making the score 33-0 Smoky Valley.
And Brandon Malm will be on to try another extra point to Holder as Peters' high wobbly kick. It is good, and our score with 6:59 left to go in the second quarter. Vikings on top, 34-0. Back after this timeout.
Qualifications and rules apply. See institution for details.
Ask for Kasasa.
Warning. Free Kasasa checking may lead to a rise in disposable income due to cashback on everyday debit card purchases. Refunds on return fees and non-negotiable so-called service fees. Increased Kasasa checking may result by if you suffer from chronic money loss, search for Kasasa.
This has been a financial health advisory courtesy of Kasasa. It's like money medicine for your shopping habit.
Offered locally at the Bank of Tesla. Member FDIC.
This is a Smoky Valley Vikings podcast.
And back at the Anderson Stadium here on the campus of Bethany College. Already been some talk about replacing this turf. It's so nice to have such a nice turf field with the big visible numbers and everything, but it does wear out, and it's going to have to be replaced in maybe another year before they've started some serious talk about getting the turf replaced.
Yeah, it's been a nice addition here to be able to have this and utilize it for Smoky Valley events. Also, all the events the college has here, from soccer to football, and just a nice place for us to be able to come and have our games.
Yeah, it's a very nice home-friendly facility. Kennedy on to do the honors once again on the kickoff. Line drive, kind of wobbly kick, going to bounce about the 15 and picked up about the 10. 15-20 far side, trying to cut up toward the middle to the 25. Good return by the Knights there to from the 10-yard line up to the 25, so that's where they'll have it 1st and 10. Start cheering for the underdog now. Want them to get some things moving. They've had some passes that have been close to being complete, but boy, he threw that last one right to Andrew Peters.
He did, and they're trying to open the game up a little bit. They've showed us a number of different things. The execution has not gone real smoothly for Wichita Trinity, but a lot of that can be said for the Vikings making plays there as well. And again, you want to see just some things happen on both sides here.
Empty backfield again. Blitz coming for the Vikings. Pressure coming, and boy, getting deep behind the Vikings was the intended receiver, and I think that was Martin, number 1, but that because of the pressure, he just couldn't get that ball where he wanted it.
Yeah, Brandon Malm was back there in a hurry that time, was able to get through his gap, and the Vikings did put a lot of hats up there, which enabled him to get through pretty much untouched into the offensive backfield. But you're right, Martin was able to get behind the defense, ball just overthrown by about 3 or 4 yards there.
The 3 receivers to the far side. Now one of them shifting to the near side, so it's 3 near side, 2 far side this time in the empty backfield for Dunham. 6:50 left to go. Rolling to the near side, still rolling now. He's going to in the flat and tipped by Haven Lysell Stewart. Good effort by Haven to tip that ball and force the incompletion.
Yeah, they're trying to move Dunham around in the backfield a little bit so he doesn't have to stand in one spot and allow the defense to come and attack him. So they're trying to get a little turn there so they get on the edge and kind of push the Viking defenders back toward the center of the field and give him some more space. The disadvantage of that is it really limits the amount of receivers he has because he's pretty much locked into those 2 or 3 guys on whatever side of the field he's rolling toward. It was a great play there by Haven Lysell Stewart to get up in the air, get the ball deflected, and keep it at 3rd and 10.
He's a big man. He's 6'3", 265 or 285, whatever you said, but he's still under pressure. He can't get away from the pressure coming at him. There's a pass intercepted by Hebel at the 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Brant Hebel, a pick 6 for the Vikings, and they certainly add to their lead.
Yeah, nice interception. A little misread there. Pressure coming back on Dunham again. He tried to end up throwing the ball to a receiver streaking down the field who really hadn't even turned and looked for the ball yet. Brant Hebel had his eyes in the backfield, was able to step right in front of that play, intercept it right up at the 32-yard line, and take it all the way back for a Viking score. So 32-yard interception return for a touchdown by Brant Hebel, making the score 40 Smoky Valley, Wichita Trinity 0.
Pick 6. You don't get many of them in high school. Here's Brandon Malm on to do the point after kick again. Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is good. And our score was 6:37 left to go in the second quarter. 41-0. Vikings lead it. Back right after this.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your
specialty menu items. Farley's Bar and Grill, located at 101 North Main Street in Lynchburg. Proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
The Vikings.
Back, a jubilant crowd here on the Smoky Valley sideline. And 41 points put up in less than a quarter and a half. That just doesn't happen very often, and you just can't. You just start feeling sorry for a team like this that's had a tough year all along, and then you're losing players to their soccer team who maybe has a chance to move on in their sub-state or district, whatever it is, and they certainly are undermanned here tonight.
Yeah, they really are. And on a positive note for Smoky Valley, obviously, it's nice to see in back-to-back weeks now. We put up 42 and now 41. Good to see the defense. That's one of the places that's tougher to make rotations early on because you really have to rotate guys to where they have guys on the field that are playing the same positions, and you're really used to what each other's doing. And so still had a lot of our first-team guys out there on the defensive possession that time, but nice interception by Hebel, able to take it back. And now Tristan Stanbaugh going to come out and kick for the first time tonight on the kickoff.
Yeah, good to see a freshman in the hands of a good kicker. High end over in kick. It's going to be kind of short, land about the 25-yard line, and picked up. Oh, what a collision there!
Goodness.
Between the man he picked up there, and Haven Lysell Stewart, I believe, or Raleigh
Wilson who made him pay for it. I mean, that ball bounced once or twice, and then it was picked up on the fly because it hopped right back up in the air. Unfortunately, Raleigh was about a half a yard away from when he picked that ball up, and there was quite the contact there. That was, I think I heard a collective ooh across the stadium for that one.
Number 81, Cade Blanchett in there on the defensive secondary. Venables in as one of the corners. I've got some more substitutions coming in. Blanchett in as one of the linebackers, it looks like, maybe.
Yeah, Tristan Stambaugh at a linebacker or a line position as well. Brandon Malm's up there. Justin Holt, Grant Lysell Alkire still in there as well.
Under center goes Dunham, this time with the I formation behind him. They've gone big backfield. Here comes a run up the middle. Got some yardage across the 30 up to the 31-yard line. So pickup of about 2, maybe 3 on the play. Now Bronson Golden coming in to replace Brewster Binkson on the other corner side. 6:19 and counting here in the second quarter. Vikings with a 41-0 lead. Again, undermanned team here, Wichita Trinity Knights, and they are certainly struggling here. Dunham will go in a pistol formation. Oh, now he goes up under center with I formation behind him. Wide receiver each way for the Knights. Dropping back the pass, rolling now far side down the field he goes to, and little collision there, and there's going to be pass interference on Bronson Golden. He wasn't going to back down, but he did let the receiver get a step on him. And it's going to be first down by penalty here on the Vikings.
Yeah, a little stop and go on that far side. It was a designed play where the receiver over there ends up going about for a 7-8 yard route, does a quick little hitch, and then takes off up the field. Bronson bit really hard on that first part. He was able to get behind him. Hats off to Bronson, though, for getting back up the field. Yes, it was a penalty, but the other side of that would be a catch and a possible score. So does get called for the penalty, but doesn't give up the score.
15-yard penalty stepped off. Leroy Bean back in there. Jake Lucas in as one of the safety replacing Kennedy. So a lot of substitutions here. We'll do our best to get them to you as we go. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the second quarter. 2 receivers each way for the Knights. Now a little flat action pass and couldn't get connected there. They looked like the receiver was going to back up and maybe take a screen pass, and Dunham led him like he was supposed to go downfield.
Yeah, the timing just doesn't seem to be real crisp right now. It's just a little bit ahead of him. The location as far as where the passes are going to be coming. It was a good designed play. I thought it was well executed as far as what they were trying to do, trying to get a little quick hitter over there, see if they can get something up the field. Hats off over here, too. I think it was Caden Venables was able to just toss the split end out of the way and actually had a chance to make an early tackle there if the ball was caught.
Second down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Dropping back the pass. Dunham looking over here on the sideline, and he overthrows the intended receiver, Martin. Venables again in good coverage, but he looked like he was going to throw kind of a little square in pattern, and it was he was going to go deep.
Yeah, for a team that's lost some guys and things like that, they've not had many penalties out there. There's not a lot of false starts, which you would expect if you have a bunch of guys that haven't really played together in the same capacity all the time. But from that regard, it's been a relatively cleanly played game on both sides of the ball.
Just a lot of incomplete passes here, and now Wichita Trinity is going to take a timeout. Timeout on the field. We'll step aside as well. 5:44 left to go, second quarter. Vikings on top 41-0. Back right after this.
I really appreciate the faculty and staff here at Bethany. They care about their students and they're helping them achieve their goals and to be successful.
This is a Christian-based college, and I felt that he was in the right hands when I left him here.
We chose Bethany College so my son could have a good life.
If you want inspired learning at an affordable price, choose Bethany College. Learn more about your good life at bethanylb.edu.
This is a Rockingham broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College. The final game of the season for Smoky Valley. They've been in the playoffs and deep in the playoffs the last couple years, playoffs the year before that. So they're in kind of uncharted territory here, having to play their 9th and final game at home and having no chance to advance. Going to kind of bunch their line together this time. Bunch 3 receivers to the near side, back in the backfield beside Dunham, and send him in motion. It'll throw out here in the flat, caught, trying to get away from would-be tacklers, but Lucas and Haven Lysell Stewart and Raleigh Wilson and Leroy Bean and a host of more Vikings coming on the play to make it a loss of about 3 on the play.
Yeah, he actually slipped through the first couple of Viking defenders there, but great job of pursuit, like you mentioned. Leroy Bean getting in there in pursuit, Caden Venables getting in there in pursuit, and all of them able to make the play here and force a 4th and about 12 here for Wichita Trinity.
So instead of throwing back-to-back interceptions, they're going to be able to punt this ball away this time. 5 minutes left to go in this second quarter. Deep for the Vikings is Andrew Peters. Kennedy a little shorter back. And the ball kicked the low line drive, and it's going to just take a night bounce and get down inside the 35 to about the 32-yard line. That's where the Vikings will have it. 1st and 10. They've had such short field and, of course, a pick 6, so you really haven't seen the offense really generating much offense here as of late, but now we got to see we've got a couple more new players coming in. Number 70 on the way, Gus Griffith. Did you know anything about Gus?
Yeah, Gus, another one of our freshman kiddos, and we're seeing a few more of those guys make their way onto the field as well. Looks like we're going to go Stambaugh and Shugren in the backfield again. Caden Venables probably going to rotate a little bit with Bronson Golden again at that split end position. Trying to see who we've got at tight end over there. Looks like Hebel maybe still in the mix over there as well.
I think Grant or Haven's still over there too.
Yeah, sorry, I meant split or slot position. Sorry.
I formation behind Jake Lucas, who's still at quarterback. First man through, and they stop it before the play started. And the Vikings. Now you mentioned that.
That one's
penalty.
on me. That one's on me. I take that one.
Not the Trinity Knights that are moving, but the Vikings. Now they've got a bunch of guys who have been playing JV and not necessarily in with the cadence count of Jake Lucas, so they jumped off sides. 1st and 15 for Smoky Valley.
Just want to remind people with all these guys getting in the game, great opportunity to maybe watch and see a relative getting out on the field here. If you go to live.smokyvalley.org, Mike Rose doing a great job bringing this game to you via the internet.
I formation. Here comes the first man. Lucas is going to keep it himself, and he'll get the 5-yard penalty back, 2nd down and long for the Vikings. Or was it Shugren carrying it? I thought it was.
I think it was Lucas.
Yeah, I think Lucas followed him right up the middle. So that little fullback dive fake, and then Lucas just turns right up behind that and uses Shugren as a blocker there to get up through the inside. The ball bobbled just a little bit as we look at the highlight, and he actually just decides he's got to keep it. And a nice job by Lucas of picking up 5 on that.
Stambaugh behind Shugren in the backfield. Jake Lucas under center. I formation. Here comes Stambaugh trying to get some room up the middle. He's got a little bit of running room. He's going to get up near the 38-yard line, or it's going to be 3rd down and about 4.
Yeah, nice job of Tristan. I think first contact there was about the 35 or 36. He was able to pull players with him to get close to the 39 there. Nice job of running by the youngster, and again, one of those players who will maybe be counted on here in the future for Smoky Valley.
Yeah, you're going to see these guys because there's 8 or 9 senior football players. We're going to mention them here in a little bit, but they're playing their last game in the orange and black of Smoky Valley. 3rd down and 4 for the Vikings. I formation behind Lucas. Comes Shugren pounding his way up the middle. He's got running room, and he's going to be. No, it's Lucas who's kept the ball.
Oh, it's Stambaugh. He's giving it out there.
Okay.
Stambaugh getting around the edge. Shows the wheels he's got there. He's got a nice top end speed. He used a lot of that last year in the middle school games, and this time gets around the edge. A little bit of deception back there from Jake Lucas. He had us all fooled there for just a smidge.
I had Shugren with the ball, carried it, and Lucas then finally ended up with Stambaugh.
Yeah, just went through the progressions, made the fake right up the middle to Shugren, gives the ball to the outside to Stambaugh, who rumbles down the sideline and picks up a nice gain to the Viking 43. Or to the Trinity 43.
Hebel on the far side split way out. Venables way out to the near side. I formation. Lucas dropping back now, throwing the flat to Venables, and he's wrapped up right away, but a pickup of about 4, almost 5, 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings. Good reception by Caden Venables.
Yeah, nice to see the senior Caden Venables making a catch there on the edge. Nice pass by Jake Lucas on a little bit of a timing pattern, a little hitch look, and Venables pulls it in and picks up 5.
The Vikings are clicking on all cylinders here in this first half, leading 41-0 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds and counting. Golden, the wide receiver, to the near side for Smoky Valley. Shugren and Stambaugh behind Jake Lucas, who's gone all the way at quarterback. There's certainly been a lot of substitutions everywhere else, but he's still the quarterback. Rolling out near side. No, he gives it off to Stambaugh, running low, powering his way down near the first down marker. He'll get just across the 35 or just to the 35, where it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Some more updates from around our league tonight. Wichita Collegiate still leads Halstead, but it's tightened up now, 7-6. That score in the second quarter. Hillsboro now at 15-0 on Pleasanton. Clearwater 21, Heston 14. That's still in the second. Colby still up 14-0 on Nickerson. Phillipsburg up 14-0 on Lyons. Beloit all over Larned 30-0.
I formation behind Lucas, looking at 3rd down and 2. Here comes Shugren. This time he'll get first down yardage down near the 32-yard line. So, yeah, the Larned Indians, they lost their good running back, kind of all-everything guy.
Starting quarterback, wasn't it? Starting quarterback?
Yeah, so they certainly have not been as good a team. And we noticed when we played them in our opening game, they certainly weren't as good a team when he wasn't in the lineup. So no question about that. It's probably a good thing. Here it's 1st down and 10 for the Vikings at the 32-yard line. 1:30 left to go until halftime. I formation behind Jake Lucas once again. Going to keep it and give it to Stambaugh. Boy, he caught it on the run there. Good hard run by the freshman, Tristan Stambaugh.
Another huge hole created by that line as he, like you mentioned, the ball taken pretty much in stride by Stambaugh as he seemed to take the handoff, and the next thing you knew, he's 3 or 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, and all of a sudden nobody's touched him yet. He ends up pulling up an 8-yard gain on that play, and just a heck of a run. Got Cade Blanchett in the game now as well, getting some time here at what looks like either the slot position or the split end position, or maybe tight end. I think he might be in for Haven. Nope, we're going the double tight, sorry.
2nd down and 2. Flanker is Hebel to the near side, turn and hand it off to Stambaugh, trying to get this side. He's inside the 20, inside the 15, and first down yardage for Tristan Stambaugh. He's piling up the yardage here on 2nd and 3rd effort.
It really is. Now you're down to that 41-second mark. It'll be interesting to see if Smoky Valley decides to try to stick one in the end zone here before the end of the half, or if we just try to run another play or two and see what happens.
30 seconds left to go before the halftime is here. 1st and 10 Vikings in the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Double tight end, I formation, and behind Jake Lucas. Turns and hands it off to, no, he's going to roll out in the flat. Still looking, now he's going to have to tuck it and run. He's going to try the far side. Here comes a flag. Pass complete to Haven Lysell Stewart, who's going to try to get to the end zone. And he's down just short of the end zone, but I think it's all going to come back on a holding call.
Yeah, we have a couple of flags. Got one over here from the side judge here on the near side, and one from the umpire in the back as well.
The team both on the offense. The who's on field on the offense, that coach declined. Walking the back on the offense, 10 yards, start a foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
We got an ineligible down the field and looked like the other one there was a hold. Is that what you had?
Yeah, I think he said blocking the back.
Sorry. Yeah, he kind of got across the line there. You saw that play on the highlight if you happen to be watching at home. Had a player get back in the backfield and one of the linemen turned back around. It was such a long play. It was very difficult for linemen not to want to creep up that field just a little bit when Jake started to scramble. So, again, especially with some youngsters out there, that this is kind of new for them as well.
And they are going to wind the clock, and the Vikings will let the clock run out, and that will be the final play of the first half. Halftime is here, and the Vikings with a big lead, 41-0. We'll be back to wrap this one up, plus do some score updates after this 2-minute timeout.
Area athletes and even weekend warriors have a big home field advantage. Salina Regionals.
Tonight to Fire Alarm. The Wildfires are Captain Taylor Barnes. Captain Carissa Kindlesberger. Captain Elena McMillan. Ellie Flynn. Carrick Elliott. Grayson Bauer. Braden DeSalt. Riley Ebert. Emma Liddick. Lauren DeLiesel. And Olivia Ford. Great job, Wildfires! Give them a big round of applause on their last performance of the football season.
Wherever you need them to help you get back in the game, the home field advantage starts with the Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic. The Vikings just dominated that first half, scored on every possession in the first quarter to run it up to 21-0, and then scored again to make it 27-0 early second quarter, and then had a couple of interceptions, including a pick six by Grant Hebel, and finally ended up making it a 41-0 halftime score. So the Vikings certainly clicking on every cylinder tonight, and against a team that has a little shortage of players because of soccer, but they're still putting up a good fight.
Yeah, they are. Hats off to Wichita Trinity. You know, it's a tough season, and they've had some tough games along the way. You mentioned all the goose eggs that were put up throughout the season, but again, it'd be easy to roll over and not do a whole lot. They've tried to come out and execute their offense, try to make plays. I tell you, defensively, they're still out there trying to hit and trying to get the Vikings taken down. You know, you mentioned a couple of interceptions, one of those a direct score, the other one eventually leading to a short field and a score. So again, like you said, Smoky Valley clicking on all their cylinders, but Wichita Trinity giving forth the effort, trying to compete out there and trying to make things tough. It is giving Smoky Valley the opportunity to play some players that haven't seen the field a lot. And so good to see those up-and-coming players, the rising stars for Smoky Valley here in the near future, as well as get the chance to see those seniors that you mentioned earlier go out on a positive note.
Well, it is. It's a Friday Night Lights. It's certainly different than a Monday night JV game, so it's giving them some good experience. And time now to do some stats. Jason, are you ready to read off a few stats for us?
Yep. It is nice to see Wichita Trinity out there playing hard. They're playing all of their guys on both sides of the field, so they're not getting much of a break out there. But Smoky Valley, total offense, 330 yards to 1 total yard of offense for Trinity Academy. 33 plays for Smoky Valley to 21. Passing, Smoky Valley 17 passing yards to Wichita Trinity 7. -6 rushing yards for Wichita Trinity to 313 yards on the ground for Smoky Valley. Smoky Valley also 4 for 4 on third down. Wichita Trinity 1 for 6. Individually, for Wichita Trinity, Grant Dunham 2 for 15 passing for 7 yards and 2 interceptions. Rushing, Logan Burgess, 1 carry for -1 yard. Miko Lumapis, 3 carries for -2 yards. And Grant Dunham, 2 carries for -3 yards. Receiving, Keyshawn Martin, 1 catch for 9 yards. And Miko Lumapis, 1 catch for -2 yards. Leading the way defensively for them, David Spencer, 6 tackles. Keyshawn Martin, 5 tackles. Jack Adams and Jackson May, 4.5 tackles. For Smoky Valley individually, passing, Jake Lucas, 2 for 3, 17 yards. Rushing, Smoky Valley, Raleigh Wilson, 6 carries for 110 yards, 1 touchdown. Trey Kennedy, 8 carries for 106 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tristan Stambaugh, 7 carries for 57 yards. Andrew Peters, 3 carries for 21 yards. Jake Lucas, 3 for 10. Court Shugren, 3 carries for 9 yards and 1 touchdown. We did also get alerted at halftime that he is going to change his number from 54 to 25 for the second half. Receiving for Smoky Valley, Brewster Binkston, 1 catch for 12 yards. Caden Venables, 1 catch for 5 yards. Defensively, 2.5 tackles for Raleigh Wilson and Haven Lysell Stewart. 2 tackles for Andrew Peters and Court Shugren. And then 1 tackle for Skylar Hopkins, Brant Hebel, Tristan Stambaugh, Justin Holt, and half a tackle for Caden Venables and Leroy Bean.
Have a halftime scores for you. Plainville all over Sacred Heart, 49-0. Cimarron 20, Minneapolis 0 at the half. McPherson all over Abilene, 49-0 at the half. Salina South and Mays. Salina South losing to Mays South, 17-0. Salina Central and Andover, 7-7 at the half. And El Saline and Oakley. El Saline 7, Oakley 0 at the half. You got some other scores, Duck?
I do have some scores. We got Cheney up 31-6 on Rock Creek. Did you mention Republic County? I thought you said that one. Republic County 32, Ellis 8. We mentioned Hillsborough 15-0 on Pleasanton. Hoisington 34-0 over Southwestern Heights. Southeast of Saline up on Wathena 15-9. Phillipsburg 14-0 over Lyons. Colby 14-0 over Nickerson. Clearwater 21, Heston 14. That's quite a doozy there. Collegiate 7, Halstead 6. Inman all over Stanton County 35-0. Some pretty good games going on right out there. We skipped right over. It might be important for us to take a look at our impact performance of the first half, presented by the Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic. It's been quite the first half for the Vikings, and a number of guys you could look at here, but definitely a positive note here tonight when you look at Raleigh Wilson and Trey Kennedy, both over the 100-yard mark and most likely done for the night as well. 8 carries for Trey, 106 yards, 13.3 yards per average there. And Raleigh Wilson, 6 carries for $110 at 18.3. Hard not to look at those two guys for player.
Yeah, I would think so. What are you thinking, Jason?
I'm looking more on the defensive side of things. I'm looking at Brant Hebel with an interception for a touchdown, and Andrew Peters with an interception as well. So defense and offense.
You never played any defense.
That's why I'm looking at the defense now.
Now, boys. But I think that would be a good way to do it. You got such good things going on both sides. To have is a total of 7 yards for that team at halftime, and Brant Hebel and Peters have done an excellent job. So we'll throw 4 in the hat for this week's player impact performance of the first half.
And really good to see. Just good to see the guys executing well and playing well. And again, Jason already pointed it out. Tristan Stambaugh, the freshman, already in the game, 7 carries, 57 yards there. And that's only in the second quarter for about the 9-8 minute mark on. And you figure that also includes a pick 6 in the mix as well. So he's running the ball extremely well. Wouldn't be surprised to see Tristan get in the end zone here in this second half as well. Running clock, of course, throughout the second half. So the game's going to move a little bit quicker. So going to be interesting for us to keep up on the scores around the area and around the league as well.
I want to thank again our sponsors that help us with our portion of the broadcast, including Smoky Valley Booster Club, Bank of Tesket, Viking Auto, Crick Christian's Funeral Home, People's Bank and Trust, Call Mari at Caldwell Banker Real Estate, Dr. Darrell Loader, Art Shirt, Arn Reinert CPA, Yoder Lawn and Tree Care, Farm Bureau, Farmer State Bank, Lindbergh Family Dental Care, Gallant Tire and Auto, Old Stuga, C&L Heating and Cooling, Midway Motors, Harry Malary, Scott's, and Dower Welding. We'll take a timeout, 2-minute timeout, Jared, and come back and wrap up this halftime. Smoky Valley on top 41-0. Back after this.
Auburn Pharmacy is your local hometown Lindsborg pharmacy, located at 216 North Harrison Street, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
People's Bank and Trust takes pride in its heritage of service to the customer and features 12 locations in central Kansas. People's Bank and Trust, a proud supporter of Smoky Valley and Bethany College. Member FDIC.
Lindsborg Community Hospital and Family Healthcare Clinic, supporting concussion safety and impact testing for all athletes who call the Smoky Valley home.
The Old Stuga in downtown Lindsborg is celebrating 40 years in business. Home of the famous Brent Nelson sandwich. Visit them on South Main Street. Go Vikings and go Swedes.
Vernon Jewelers in downtown Salina is the perfect place to get that one-of-a-kind item for yourself or that special someone. Vernon Jewelers, located at 123 North Santa Fe in downtown Salina, is a proud supporter of area athletics.
Give us a call at Hometown Outdoor Power in Salina, Minneapolis, and McPherson to get your mowers. Sign up for our winter service program. Don't forget to ask about the early sign-up promotion when you call.
7-day-a-week urgent care has arrived in Lindsborg. Open now at the Lindsborg Community Hospital. 7-day-a-week urgent care is open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. on weekends. No need to be an established patient of the Family Healthcare Clinic. Everyone can enjoy the new convenience for those things that can't wait until tomorrow but aren't serious enough for the emergency room. 7 days a week, urgent care at Lindsborg Community Hospital.
You're listening to Smoky Valley Vikings Athletics.
Welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College. The Bethany College volleyball girls won set 1, but they're trailing in set 2, so hope they get that turned around a little bit. It was senior night last week, but the Vikings seniors are doing a good job, led by
a number of those guys. I tell you, it's what a great group of young men and a great group of guys just to see come through this program. You know, we mentioned a few of those names earlier with the stats, but Brewster Bankston, Tevin Duncan, Dax Hopp, Trey Kennedy. We mentioned earlier Chance Kruckenberg, who hasn't been playing since early in the season due to a back injury. Grant Lysell Alkire, Andrew Peters, Colin Silver, Caden Venables, and Raleigh Wilson. It's just been nice to see these guys develop the way they have and do the things that they have. And so it's just good to see, they've had some success in the past years that they've been a part of this program. This year's required a lot more perseverance, a lot more stick-to-itiveness on their behalf, but they've still been able to continue to persevere and again to end the season here on 2 positive notes on back-to-back weeks. Also want to throw out there real quick, those people that we don't get to acknowledge quite as much. Wildfires did their dance a little bit ago under the direction of Angela DeLiesel. You've got the cheerleaders down there week in, week out under the direction of Margot Lysell. You've got the band under the direction of Adam Keller, and the whole taking care of business here, Mr. Nelson, Bill Nelson, and Kai Swisher. But Kai's not here tonight. Off doing a little bit of hunting tonight, hunting some elk.
Garrett Scritchfield chipping in and doing a good job of
bringing us our drinks here at half. He did well. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, good job. Talk a little bit about the 2020 football schedule. The Vikings have kind of replaced Concordia in the western part of the state. The Vikings will open up at Halstead and then Halstead will come to Smoky Valley, and then Haven will come to Smoky Valley. That's 2 teams we've played for several years in a row. And then the Vikings will be on the road at Hillsboro, so a little short trip down to Hillsboro, so we get to see Hillsboro. And then our district will happen. Colby comes to Smoky Valley. And then on October the 2nd, Smoky Valley all the way out to Goodland. That'll be a mountain time game, Goodland. And then the following week, right back out on the road at Scott City. So back-to-back road trips next year. The first 2 Fridays in October. And then southeast of Saline visits Smoky Valley, and then Smoky Valley on the road again at Russell. That's not quite so far, but it still is west down I-70. And then we'll see how they do, if they end up being in the playoffs or just have that 9th game that is yet to be determined. And then the following year, it flips the other way. Halstead, the Vikings go to Halstead, they go to Haven, and then Hillsboro comes here, and then we go to Colby. This is in 2021, and then Goodland and Scott City visit Lindsborg on October 1st and October 8th, and then the Vikings go to Southeast of Saline, and then Russell comes to Smoky Valley. So that's our next 2 years' worth of schedule, and it'll just be interesting playing in the western part of the state.
It will. The good news is Jason's got a new job recently, gets a lot of travel miles, so he might be able to charter us a flight out in that area. But no, we've seen a lot of success. You and I talked about this earlier. We've seen some success going out west in the past, whether that's been in football or in basketball or whatever it might have been. Our cross-country team had to go out to Norton just for regionals this last week and obviously qualified too for state tomorrow. So good to see those things. We have those opportunities going out to the West and to be a chance to play some teams we haven't played for quite a while.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We have played Colby. I've broadcast a game from Colby a few years ago, so they have been on our schedule for football in the past. But, be a new direction, and been a lot of years. And the Swisher boys were playing football back in. We'll take a couple of road trips out to Goodland. So it'll all be good, and it'll be football, and it'll be fun to see a different venue than the same one. We've been here with Chapman and Abilene and Rock Creek and all those schools. So it'll be a fun one for sure. Both teams are out here ready to go. The Vikings, I believe, they deferred in their kickoff of the first half, so they will get the first football here first in this second half. And again, good luck to Ryan Helene and Gracie Lambert. They're running at Rimrock Farm tomorrow. Pardon me. At you thought about 10-something for Gracie and 11-something for Ryan. So hopefully, I think both of them have pretty optimistic goals to place in the top part of the division.
Yeah, I think both of them are very very positive about going tomorrow. I feel like they just have to go run. They took the day off today to keep the legs fresh. I've traveled up there already. Good luck to their coaches as well. What a great season, and they've got great support staffs with them that'll be there tomorrow. So fantastic job on their behalf. Want to throw a plug out as well, November 22nd. Make sure you get that date on your calendar. That's late night in the Valley for boys and girls basketball or fundraiser. Chinese auction and some live auction items already coming in. We already have an autographed basketball coming in from the Atlanta Hawks, Jason Collins. We also have 2 on-air broadcasts with Don Bankston sometime during the basketball season. Those are prime tickets, Don. People got to get there. That's a good opportunity. It's been a good, successful thing for us in the past, too. So November 22nd, come out, have a hot dog, hamburger, enjoy the festivities, and get the basketball season going.
Approach to the ball, high end over end kick is going to be taken by Peters about the 20-yard line. They're going to try that reverse. He's going to keep it himself and try to get to the outside, little zip up the middle, now back to the edge on the 30-yard line and driven out of bounds about the 32-yard line. So back to that reverse that had some issues there for a while during that 5-game losing streak for the Vikings, but tonight it's all positive, and Vikings have it 1st and 10 at the 32.
You mentioned the chill. It's been getting just a little bit colder here throughout the evening. I saw number 21 there who was able to make the tackle on Andrew Peters. That was David Spencer, kind of holding the lower leg area there. I don't know if he's cramping up a little bit, but you just come out after half, have to make a play here in this cold air, and not sure if he's going to be able to continue to go. He is going to stay out there and go, but definitely tighten it up a little bit.
And already a timeout called by somebody. I don't know who called the timeout, but we'll keep it right here as the Vikings come out on the field. And if Wichita Trinity decided to maybe let some of those guys loosen up a little bit, they get that extra 3 minutes to come out and stretch, and they were doing some little jumping and stretching and hopping and skipping and trying to get loose. But the temperature has dropped to, get my weather deal pulled up here. It's chilling out a little bit, taking a little bit of time. Even the weather won't come on very quickly. 40 degrees, is that what it is already?
I think it probably is. I want to show another shout out to Mike Rose. What a great job putting on all these games every year on live.smokyvalley.org. Of course, covering volleyball a week ago for Substate as well, and allowing us to cover volleyball at home that night. He's going to be doing basketball season as well. What a great job there. Also want to thank, I believe it was in the program as well, Dr. Loader there for 25 years of service, helping out the football program. So a lot of great people that volunteer to make all this stuff go off the way it does.
Two receivers near side for Lucas. The I formation behind him. Going to keep it himself this time and get a yard, maybe 2 at the most. But Jake Lucas kind of wrapped up a little quicker there. Wichita Trinity coming out here, firing up here, and keeping the Vikings a little bit contained.
Yeah, nicely played there. It looked like the timing was a little bit sluggish for Smoky Valley getting up in there. We pointed out the fact that might be some changes coming, but it looks like we're back to most of the starting crew here again for the second half. Kind of an encore performance before I'm sure Coach Lambert's going to take most of those starters and definitely those seniors out and allow them to get a round of applause here shortly.
Two receivers far side for Lucas. I formation with Wilson and Kennedy behind him. And the ball carrier is Raleigh Wilson. He is wrapped up, too. No gain on the play. 3rd down and 9 here for the Vikings.
Yeah, great play on behalf of Wichita Trinity coming out from the timeout or the halftime and the timeout to open up this second half. And they've responded. They've come out here and played hard. And we talked about that at halftime, not backing down. I thought defensively they brought what they could bring in that first half. And I thought they really stuck their noses in and tried to make plays. The Vikings were just a little too quick. Now they've got to set up for a 3rd and 9 already.
3rd and 9. Facing the Vikings, flanker is Peters to the far side. I formation behind Jake Lucas. Turns and hands it off to Kennedy, trying the outside, trying to win a foot race outside and still get upfield enough to get the first down, but he's going to be denied. Good play in there defensively by one of the cornerbacks for the Knights.
Yeah, that was Keyshawn Martin. Nice job of the linebacker there stringing that play out and allowing Martin to continue to go along the way with him and just press him to the sideline, and that ends up being a 4th down for Smoky Valley. Going to be 4th and about 4, 4th and about 5, 4.5.
Yeah, at the 38-yard line, they need to get to the 42, so they're going to go for it here on 4th down. They don't give it, they'll be giving good field position for the Wichita Trinity Knights. I formation behind Jake Lucas. They turn and hand it off to the second guy, Kennedy. He's got first down yardage across the 45. Good blocking by the left side of the offensive line.
Good blocking and great fake by Jake Lucas. He put that ball in the belly of Raleigh Wilson and held it there for a nice amount of time, made it look like we were going to go right up the middle. What that does is that collapses that interior part of that defense into that fullback dive.
They have to honor that.
Exactly, and once he did, that created a huge hole in space for Kennedy, and by the time he took the handoff and got about 2 steps, he almost had the first down before any contact even came to him.
I formation with flanker Peters to the far side. 1st and 10 Vikings here. Here comes Wilson coming up the middle across midfield down to the 45 and trying to rip the ball loose, and getting him out of bounds is the Wichita Knights, but it's going to be very close to first down yardage.
Yeah, nice play there by number 21. That's Spencer again. We mentioned him coming out of the half, the cramp in the lower leg, but he went right after the football that time. They really made no effort to try to make the tackle. Just grabbed the ball from Raleigh, or tried to grab it from Raleigh. That's not an easy task, by the way. And those two just wrestled for the ball for a second or two until he finally takes him down, but not before the first down.
All the way out in Colorado Springs is Kai Swisher listening to us tonight. Flanker to the near side is Brant Hebel. Turn and hand it off to Wilson again, powering his way up the middle, breaking a tackle, breaking another tackle, and getting first down yardage again in second, third, and fourth effort by Raleigh Wilson.
What a hard-nosed runner Wilson is. I mean, it's just been a pleasure to watch him play. And, you know, he did some of this last year when he'd come into the game late in the games and make some plays there as well, and just continues to demonstrate that this season and into tonight. So good running, taking guys with him, and yet another Viking first down.
I formation with flanker to the far side, Andrew Peters. Kind of a familiar formation in this drive here for the Vikings. Here comes Kennedy trying the near side, going to try to kick it outside away from the block, gets away from would-be tackler and down near the 20-yard line, right at another first down, but I believe it's going to be just shy of the first down yardage.
Yeah, nice run by Kennedy. Had to use a little dipsy-do step there to get away from one of the defenders, and once he did, create a little bit of space, and like you said, just short of the first down, a pickup of 9. Nice blocking there on the edge as well.
Dipsy-do.
Little dipsy-do? You don't like dipsy-do?
I like that. I like that. Wishbone formation for the Vikings, first time in this drive, double tight end formation. Second down and 1 here just outside the 20-yard line. Lucas with the long play count. Toss to Peters, and now it's going to be stop and a false start on the Vikings. It'll be for 2nd down and 6.
Yeah, just backing them up a little bit. Only with roughly about the second offensive penalty, I think, on the Vikings as far as false start is concerned. We did have one holding penalty or block in the back in the first half on that very last drive. And, of course, we had an interference penalty earlier in the first half. But like we said before, relatively cleanly played game. Both teams seem to be executing well as far as that goes.
They'll stay in double tight wishbone formation here on 2nd and 6. You're just underway. First drive of the second half for the Vikings. Here comes Andrew Peters. He's got some room. He's inside the 20, driven out of bounds inside the 20, about the 18-yard line. So it'll be 1st down and 10 inside the Next Tech Wireless red zone. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless.
Good to see Andrew Peters getting some carries back there as well, able to do that out of that wishbone formation where they can mix either he or Kennedy trying to get to the edge. That time he does and takes it for the 1st down.
7:04 left to go, third quarter action, so it is not a running clock yet as they've stopped the clock for the going out of bounds. Here's Wilson again, churning, trying to fight through would-be tacklers, and now Dunham, the big quarterback playing defensive tackle, grabs a hold of him, and he is not going to run out of his tackle.
Takes a host of them to take Wilson down. I tell you, Spencer was back in there again, had him by the ankles, couldn't pull him down. Finally needed Dunham to come in there and try to finish him off. It actually was another one in there, so it took 3 Trinity Knights to be able to take Wilson to the ground on that one. But that'll set up about a 2nd and 7 for Smoky Valley right on the 15-yard line.
Heading north at 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They've had the ball almost half of this third quarter already on their first initial drive. Wishbone formation again. Here comes Kennedy trying the edge, and he's going to get down near the 10-yard line. Not going to be a 1st down, but it's going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, nice, long, time-consuming drive. You know, in a game like this where you're already up 41-0, it's probably about the best thing you could ask for, is taking a lot of time off the clock, moving the ball down the field. Good opportunity for these starters to probably have one more good quality drive in them before they start coming out. Already seeing a couple of subs here and getting some new guys in. Leroy Bean was in there a little bit. Looks like we've got Court Shugren back in his normal number 25. He's in the backfield now as well. Going to play a tailback position here in that wishbone formation with Andrew Peters and Raleigh Wilson.
3rd down and 3 for the Vikings. Lucas turns and hands it off to Peters, trying to get outside, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, falls forward, and I believe he's got 1st down yardage. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Vikings.
Yeah, nice job blocking on the edge. He had to escape one defensive player from Trinity who got back in the backfield, but once he did get around him, was able to dive forward there and pick up the 1st down.
The Vikings have it 1st and goal after starting on a early, had a 4th down here, back here about the 40-yard line, and got the 1st down yardage. So they've continued the drive and looking to add to their 41-0 score. Wishbone formation again behind Jake Lucas, double tight end. Looks like a lot of defenders ready to try to make this tackle. Here comes Kennedy trying the left side. He's trying to get pushed to the near the goal line. No signal yet. I think they're going to say he's just short of the goal line. He's inside the 1 anyway. 2nd down and goal from inside the 1-yard line.
Not as close as you can get. That would have been 4 touchdowns on the night for Trey Kennedy. He's already got 3 touchdowns coming into this quarter. So it's going to be a matter of who they want to give the ball here to on the half-yard line and make that decision. You got Kennedy with 3. You got Raleigh Wilson, who's got 1 running the football. So into the game comes Brad Hebel for Brewster Bankston.
So 2nd down and goal from inside the 1, 9-8 on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry just a little bit. They'll stick with that wishbone formation. Jake Lucas under center. Going to turn and hand it on. No, he's going to keep it himself, and Jake Lucas, I believe, will get the score. Touchdown, Smoky Valley.
Yeah, Jake Lucas does that little follow that time again. Faked the ball to the up man, which was Raleigh Wilson. Then he's able to turn and take the ball right behind him and pick up his first touchdown of the night from 1 yard out. That'll put the Vikings up 47-0 with 4:10 left to play here in the third quarter as Brandon Malm steps out there to attempt yet another extra point tonight. Brandon's been kicking the ball well. The only one he missed looked like we couldn't quite get the snap down, so we'll see how this one goes.
Peters, the holder, the snap is good. The kick is up. The kick looks very good. And it is good. And our score with 4:10 left to go in the third quarter, Vikings up 48-0. Back with the ensuing kickoff right after this.
Ameriprise Financial, American Legion Post 140, and American Family Insurance, J. Jensen Agency.
By rule of 45 points being achieved in the second half, the clock shall only be stopped for timeouts or injuries.
Right there, Raleigh Wilson with 136 yards. That's a career high for him. Last week he had 133. That was his previous career high. Trey Kennedy with 139 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. The 3 touchdowns is a career high for Trey Kennedy, and he's 6 yards shy of a career high on the ground.
Wow.
Great game for those guys playing out there. We got a score from our trusty reporter in the field, Jay Myers, who's up there watching Blue Valley Southwest play against KC Washington tonight. Of course, dear son of Jay is coaching Curtis up there. They are up 28-0 at the half over KC Washington.
High end over end kick is going to be taken at the 20-yard line, right up the middle. Now still trying to fake and get up the middle some more, and driven down about the 33, 34-yard line. That's where Wichita Trinity Knights will have the first time in the official temperature by Mike Rose, meteorologist, at 34.5 degrees. So it's kind of dropping rather rapidly here in the late stages of this ball game.
We've got everybody. We've got field reporters. We've got meteorologists.
Yeah.
We are just hooked up with people right now, being able to share us info. And so
our support staff.
Support staff. I don't know. I think we might be the support staff. We'll figure that out for sure. But great job so far. Nice running, like Jason mentioned, on behalf of Trey Kennedy, Raleigh Wilson, all getting the job done and making plays tonight.
Dunham in that shotgun formation, going to look clip pass in the flat, caught and then dropped. I think they're going to say it's caught and then he's down, so maybe it's complete pass. I think they're going to call it a complete pass.
And I think that official here on the inside was calling incomplete pass, so I think they're going to respot that at 2nd and 10.
Okay, incomplete. 2nd and 10. We've got some subs in yet on the line. I think everybody's going to get one possession, one trip first, and then we'll go triple receivers to the near side for the Knights, 2 receivers far side, so empty backfield for Dunham, who's gone all the way at quarterback, but has not had a very successful night. A little pass out in the flat, caught at the 30, trying to turn it upfield, but good effort by Brewster Binkson to tackle him for a short gain on the play, 3rd down and long.
Yeah, Brewster Bankston read that play beautifully. It took a long time. You mentioned the fact that some of those passes take a long time to make it to the destination. He was able to get around the edge blocker there on that little wide receiver screen, and he was right there as soon as number 19 caught the ball there. That was Logan Burgess, and he was quickly back to make the tackle, and that'll make it 3rd and 10. No gain on that play.
Venables in at corner now for Brewster Binkson. Leroy Bean in as one of the tackles. Number 77, Justin Holt in on the defensive line. Empty backfield again for Dunham here with the running clock in the third quarter. Now pass. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Would have been very close to a first down yardage. But it's going to be 4th down and long now for the Knights.
Yeah, nice quick pass. I tell you, Haven Lysell Stewart came off the edge quickly there on a blitz, and it looked like he had number 88 there coming across the field. We didn't have his number in the book, but Jason found a Matt Draper on that, and it looked like he was going to be able to make that catch. Ball was a little bit behind him, but sure looked like maybe if he would have caught it, would have been a nice gain for Wichita Trinity.
But it falls incomplete because of the running clock. The clock continues to run here. Now under a minute and a half left to go in the third quarter. Snap good to Dunham. He's going to punt the ball away. A good end-over-end kick is going to nobody back for the Vikings. It's going to take a night roll and get down near the 20-yard line before it stops. He's trying to blow. They're going to spot it right at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Smoky Valley. A good effort by the Knights to try to get something put together, but they just can't get anything working here with this kind of limited roster.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for them tonight on the offensive end. I was really pleased with how they came out to open up the second half. That was the longest drive the Vikings have had of the night as far as time is concerned. We did have the 5-play, 78-yard drive for our second score. That one was 12:68. The longest in the amount of plays and the longest in the amount of time by far. So that was really good to see us take that time off the clock and make the plays.
Colin Silver, to a round of applause from the students out there, goes into the backfield for the Vikings, or a wide receiver, The I formation behind Jake Lucas, who's still back under center. Turns and hands it off to last man through, and that's Stambaugh. And Stambaugh rambles for big yardage across the 30 up to the 33-yard line. So first down yardage on that carry by Tristan Stambaugh.
One of the things we've always loved, it doesn't matter what program we're a part of, whether it's football, basketball, doesn't matter. You've got a guy like Colin Silver. The guys are just excited to see him on the field. You heard that collective burst of joy from the sideline to see him out here, a senior transfer kid or foreign exchange kid here. And so good opportunity for him to get on the field.
Yeah, everybody congratulating him now, and that is the end of the third quarter. Our score, Vikings 48, Wichita Trinity 0. Back with the fourth quarter after this 30-second timeout.
Farmers State Bank of Lindsborg, located at 447 Harrison Street, is proud to support the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes. Good luck, Vikings, and good luck, Swedes. Member FDIC.
Arn Reinert, CPA LLC, provides tax and accounting services in the Smoky Valley area and is a proud supporter of Smoky Valley High School and Bethany College activities. Located at 117 South Lincoln Street in Lindsborg. Arn Reinert, CPA LLC.
The Vikings play here.
Also, and the Vikings with that 48-0 lead here will have this one put away. Some other scores: Andover Central 14, or Andover 14, Salina Central 7 after 3 up in Salina. I formation behind Cade Blanchett now going in at quarterback for the Vikings. He wears an odd number for quarterback. He's number 81. Mays South 24, Salina South 0 after 3. Mac 49, Abilene 0 after 3.
Colby up 35-0 on Nickerson, kind of running away. Collegiate still 7-6 over Halstead. Pratt over Russell 14-7. That game, Clearwater Heston knotted at 21 all. So that is quite a good game between Heston and Clearwater going on tonight.
They had a big game last week. They took double overtime before they beat Clay Center, so that was a tough one for them there also. So they're really going with some close games. Blanchett turns and hands it off, and it's short.
Stambaugh not quite able to get the space he needed that time. There were some defenders in the backfield quickly, so wasn't able to get a gain on that one. Actually probably losing about half a yard that time. Again, a lot of different subs there. We're going to try to catch some of those names for you as well. Looks like Cody Krause in there on the line. You already mentioned the fact that Cade Blanchett now playing some quarterback here tonight for Smoky Valley. And we still have Shugren and Stambaugh in the backfield as well. But Leroy Bean out there. So good to see those guys getting that opportunity here in this fourth quarter.
10.5 minutes left to go. Vikings facing a 3rd and 3. Blanchett turns and hands it off to Stambaugh, trying to get outside. He's got a little bit of room. He's right at the marker. I believe he has first down yardage.
A nice run by Tristan. He continues to put yardage up tonight. Having a great night for him. And like we said, when you got young guys like that, everything for them is going to be a career high as well. So he's ran the ball well. We mentioned he had 57 yards earlier. He's up to 69 here at last count before this drive. So he continues to move some yardage. And like we said, he may have a chance of making it to the 100-yard mark here yet tonight.
Speaking of slow, they were slow to get the first down yardage. I didn't think they were going to give them first down yardage, but they finally did. So 1st and 10, Smoky Valley on this second drive of the second half. Blanchett under center. I formation behind him. Here comes Shugren powering his way, just carrying tacklers with him. Bursts out of the pack and then gets up near the first down marker.
He had 3 or 4 guys hanging on him. The next thing you know, those guys fell off, and Shugren was still running. He ends up putting up about 9 yards on that run. A heck of a run by Court Shugren.
Across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. So Court really second, third, fourth, maybe fifth effort there trying to get through that pile and does, he gets going to get credited with 9 yards on the carry. It's going to be 2nd down and 1.
Mason Morrell, another freshman in the game, on the line. We also see Braxton House, a freshman, coming in to play the split end position.
Thank you for getting those names updated. Shugren and stand behind Blanchett at quarterback. Here comes Shugren powering his way again into the open at the 40, 35, and tackle down about the 33. A touchdown saving tackle there by number 1, I think, Martin. But he is, Court Shugren just running. He likes that number. He's running good with that number 25 now.
He is back to his old number, the way he started out the year, getting some nice yardage, and he was just tossing people out of the way at that time, really running the ball hard. Ethan Abel now in the game as well. Of course, he's been our long snapper here the last few weeks, but he's in at a split end position here tonight as well.
So 1st and 10 Vikings at the 34-yard line. Blanchett, ooh, that looked like motion there. They're going to let it run. Stambaugh trying that left side. He'll get down near the 30-yard line. Maybe it was the center that snapped and everybody else was a play count late, but Blanchett held the snap there from the center.
Number 42, Austin Sharp, was in the backfield that time at fullback. I was trying to see who else came running
73, James.
Yeah, 73, James Osman. And I thought I saw another skill number come in the game, too, but I couldn't tell for sure.
16 just came in now. You mentioned Braxton House, so he got his name in there. Under 8 minutes to go, running clock. It won't be lasting very much longer.
There's 32, Caleb Gustus. He's another freshman in there as well.
He's at fullback position. Blanchett, the quarterback, turns and going to drop back and pass. He's a left-handed quarterback, floating down and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver.
That was Vincent Pickering, another freshman in there. So we have a number of freshmen on this squad. They were a really good group of guys last year on the 8th grade middle school level. Good to see them out here. They will be, like we've said, the future of this program here down the road eventually, and obviously getting some reps tonight and an opportunity to get out here and play in the last game of the season.
7:15 and counting here. Third down and 7, we'll call it, from the 30-yard line. Wide receiver near side, flanker to the far side, I formation behind Blanchett. Turns and hands it off to Stambaugh, trying that left side, and he's going to get down across the 25, maybe to the 24-yard line, where it's going to be 4th down and about 2.
Yeah, another nice hard run by Stambaugh and good blocking on that line of scrimmage by these new pups out there trying to make themselves, give themselves a little opportunity here, and I thought they did a nice job creating a hole for Stambaugh to get through, and it does bring up a 4th and about a yard and a half.
4th down, Smoky Valley. They faced one earlier in the quarter, or early in the half, and made it, so we'll see what they do here with these young group in there. Blanchett getting everybody directed where he wants to. Wichita Trinity bunching in the front edge, and it's going to be 1st down yardage near the 20-yard line for the Vikings. Play still going on. Finally blown dead at the 21-yard line. Good effort by the Viking runner.
Yeah, nice carry. First carry of the night by Austin Sharp, a freshman, and he's able to pick up the 1st down and get the Vikings down just outside the 20. Ball's going to be marked at the 21-yard line.
1st and 10, Smoky Valley. 6 minutes now left, halfway through the 4th quarter already in this running clock. A lot of running clock games tonight. Sacred Heart getting walloped by Plainville. Plainville, year in and year out, is such a good program. Plainville and Smith Center up in that part of the country north of Hayes, both quality programs year in and year out. I formation behind Blanchett. Turns and looks, make sure everybody's set where they want to be. He's rolling out the pass. Got a receiver short, bobbled. Oh, it's going to be a good big gain, but bobbled and falls incomplete by number 83.
Yeah, Vincent Pickering again. Similar to that last play, we threw the one before just a little bit high. That one was a little low, but I thought Vincent probably got his hands on, had a chance to pull that one in. I'm sure if you talk to him, he would really say he probably should have had that catch.
50, 52, 60, 63. Who are all those guys?
Alex Groslin is number 50. Logan Otto, 52. You said 63. Nathan Clapp. Missed the other two. Number
60.
60 is Gabe Gaddy.
And now we got a timeout. I don't know who called timeout. Oh, illegal. Vikings have a motion penalty, so they're getting all these young guys in there. So good to see all these guys come in there. We apologize ahead of time for not being able to get every one of them in there. Number 52, did you get him?
I did. Number 52 is Logan Otto. Number 5 is out there, Justice Autry. Number 12 is out there. That is Jerome Autry, the twins, both getting in the game and having a chance to play at the same time.
Tailback for the little guy, Autry. He's not a very big guy, but I bet he's tough as nails.
Pretty quick.
Second down and 15. Blanchett hands it off, and a little bit of running room there on the side. Get some of that penalty yardage back. It'll be third down and about 12.
Yeah, Austin Sharp on his second carry, again, able to drive those legs and get a couple of yards there as well. Good to see him running the ball hard. Michael Hawk coming in the game. He's going to come in at that slot position here as well.
Everybody getting their chance. House coming back in with the play. Under 4 minutes we go here now in the fourth quarter. Vikings with a 48-0 lead. They race to a 21-0 lead at halftime. 41-0 lead, or excuse me, at the quarter, 41-0 lead at the half, and they have added one score. Blanchett rolling out in the flat, still rolling out. He's going to tuck it and run. He try to get inside the 20-yard line. He'll be stuffed about the 18-yard line. It'll be fourth down and 8.
Good to see Cade turn the ball off the field there. He probably has to lower that shoulder a little bit more to try to take one of those guys out, but he did try to at least pick up some yardage there and get up the field. So, again, some of those things you learn that you can do in a Monday night game that you got to be able to be a little bit more solid on a Friday night game, but it takes those reps to kind of get those things in your head. And again, good to see these young guys getting a chance to get out here on the field on a Friday night, get that little bit of flavor for Friday night football, and hopefully drive that into the future of Smoky Valley football.
He was in a big dinosaur outfit coming into our front door last night working for Halloween. There's a little short pass in the flat, incomplete, and the Vikings will turn it over on downs. He was with his two little twin brothers, and he was the big monster with the little guys. So the Vikings' fourth down falls incomplete. The running clock still ticking away. The Vikings, the coaching staff doesn't care that they don't make that in a 48-0 game, but they certainly are doing a great job of getting all these young guys in. Now defensively,
a couple of names in here. Yeah, Nolan Dower is in the game. That's his first time in tonight. We also have number 18, Max Beaker. Looks like he's in the game as well. At least I thought I saw Max out there. Number 8 is in the game. That's Clayton Douglas. Trying to catch anybody else that we haven't gotten here 42. That hasn't been in the game before. We had 42 in. That's Austin Sharp again. So, again, just trying to motor some guys in here, and hopefully we're getting all the names mentioned as quick as we can.
Trinity running somebody in late. There's a snap coming in, and the timeout now called by Trinity Celtics. They're trying to get their last guys in. We'll take a timeout. 30-second timeout, Jared. Vikings lead at 48-0. Just under 2 minutes left. Back after this 30-second timeout.
First Bank Kansas is a proud sponsor of Smoky Valley football. First Bank Kansas is your community-oriented, customer-focused bank where banking is made personal with locations in Lindsborg, Salina, and McPherson.
Farley's Bar and Grill in downtown Lindsborg is your game day headquarters. Come try their Monte Crisco or other specialty menu items. Farley's Bar and Grill, located at 101 North Main Street in Lindsborg, proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
This is a Rocking M broadcast of the Smoky Valley Vikings.
And welcome back to Anderson Stadium, Lindstrom Brothers Field here on the campus of Bethany College, where the Smoky Valley Vikings are wrapping up their regular season. Game 9, no playoffs this year, and they certainly are going out on a high note with a 42-21 victory last week over Rock Creek, and they're coasting here to a 48-0 lead at the moment. Just 2 minutes left to go here in this final quarter. Dunham dropping back to pass. He's going to launch it deep down the field and intercepted by the Vikings. Somebody's got it back there trying to return it, and they'll get up to the 45-yard line before they'll be taken down. But who is that?
That is the freshman Max Beaker back there. What a heck of a catch by Max. I tell you, good job by those guys on that end. Nobody let the guy get deeper. We actually had 2 guys back there, and Max is able to make the almost one-handed. He kind of cradled that interception in there and then just tried to get on his horse and get moving. But what a great opportunity for Max. Great opportunity for all these guys. The Vikings will have the ball back again here at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, a lot of young freshmen getting some chances to play here. And
Richard Zeller was in the game just a little bit ago, too. I had not mentioned his name yet. Wanted to make sure I threw him out there. That's another freshman.
I think we mentioned Mason Morrell. He rushes in there to get into that offensive lineup. Blanchett, the quarterback.
Dalton Potter over here on the line as well. Haven't mentioned his name yet either.
The Vikings have it 1st and 10 after the interception And running into some trouble. Is that Nolan Dower or is that number 5, Autry?
That was Justice Autry back there. And, yeah, that defensive line was back in that backfield quickly. And so, again, not a lot of subs on behalf of Wichita Trinity. So a lot of those are the same guys that were going against the number 1 line earlier. So you expect they will be back in there a little quicker unless we can get a drive on them.
So a loss of a yard on that play. It's 2nd down and 11, and there will not be more than Vikings actually will have to snap the ball to avoid a penalty, but this will be the final play of the season, final play of the night here. As Blanchett crawls under center. And turn and see what he does with it here. Going to try to a little pass in the flat, caught, trying to get upfield and tackled for a gain near the 1st down yardage, but that will be the final play of the game. The Vikings win it 48-0. We'll be back to wrap up this game in the final season here, final game of the season. You're listening to Smoky Valley Football back after this timeout.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Bank of Tesket. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. With locations in Lincoln, Salina, Tesket, and Lindsborg. The Bank of Tesket. Member FDIC.
We're the Bank of Tesket.
The Quarterback Club of Lindsborg is proud to support athletics in the Smoky Valley. Join us each Tuesday at 7 a.m. in the Bethany College cafeteria to hear from all the Vikings and Swedes sports coaches.
Qualifications and rules apply. See institution for details.
Ask for Kasasa.
Warning. Free Kasasa checking may lead to a rise in disposable income due to cashback on everyday debit card purchases, refunds on ATM fees, and elimination of so-called service fees. Increased satisfaction may result while operating your debit card. If you suffer from chronic money loss, search for Kasasa online.
This has been a financial health advisory courtesy of Kasasa. It's like money medicine for your shopping habit.
Offered locally at the Bank of Tesket. Member FDIC. Auburn Pharmacy is your local hometown Lindsborg pharmacy. Located at 216 North Harrison Street. Proudly supporting the Smoky Valley Vikings and Bethany Swedes.
People's Bank and Trust takes pride in its heritage of service to the customer and features 12 locations in central Kansas. People's Bank and Trust, a proud supporter of Smoky Valley and Bethany College. Member FDIC.
I really appreciate the faculty and staff here at Bethany. They care about their students and they're helping them achieve their goals and to be successful.
This is a Christian-based college, and I felt that he was in the right hands when I left him here.
We chose Bethany College so my son could have a good life.
If you want inspired learning at an affordable price, choose Bethany College. Learn more about your good life at bethanylb.edu.
This is the Bank of Tesket postgame show. Coming up, player of the game, scores from around the area, final stats, and an interview with the coach. This is Smoky Valley Vikings football on 95.5 The Rock.
This is the Bank of Tesket postgame show. Generations of confidence, relationships for life. Member FDIC. Ask about their new CASA checking account in Lindsborg, Salina, Lincoln, and Tesket. And now joining us, Coach James Henderson. And what a way to send off your senior class and give your youngsters a boost. As a 42-21 victory last week, and then a 48-0 victory tonight. They just had a good first half and played strong.
Yeah, we did. We got off the football on the offensive line and ran the ball hard. Maybe not always where we should have been running it, but we ran the ball hard and broke tackles. And that was great. And executed what we wanted to execute. And then defensively, we were really good that first half. Did they make a first down?
They did not.
They did not make a first down.
By penalty on the one penalty, I think we maybe gave them a first down, but they had 7 total yards to 313. So, yeah, we were clicking offensively, clicking defensively, and a highlight for Brant Hebel to get a pick 6.
Yeah, that was a special treat for tonight. Well, I tried to get us revved up at halftime. I said, we've done everything we wanted to on defense. We scored on defense, but we haven't sacked the quarterback. Let's get a sack. It's going to be a disappointing night if we don't get him sacked. But we just couldn't get him sacked. He's so far back there.
And he's such a big guy.
Yeah, and, he does throw the ball well, and he gets it quick. But, part of not sacking him was putting enough pressure to where he was just unloading the ball. And what did we pick? 3 picks?
Well, the freshman Max Beaker getting that late pick, doing a good job, assignment sound, not letting the receiver get deeper than he did, and then the quarterback overthrows it, and a little freshman comes up with an interception. That's got to make his game.
Yeah, it does. And, another one of our backs that ran the ball really hard. Well, Court Shugan ran the ball really hard. And then Tristan Stambaugh got over his shoulder pads, and he flat ran over some guys tonight. And that was good to see him come out there and get some confidence. And we had some young linemen come in, offensive linemen, that did a great job of blocking and getting on the right guy and getting after who they were supposed to get after. And so it was a great way to end the season, and a great reward for our seniors who have never given up, who have led us, who have been out there in all those weeks that we did not play well.
Things weren't going well.
Things weren't going well on Friday night, but they were still there on Monday and Tuesday and leading us in those practices and keeping everybody positive. So, it was nice for them to be able to go out tonight and play the game with great joy and great enthusiasm and great aggressiveness and not have any pressure on them. So,
no pressure. No injuries, too. You like to finish up a game with, at least I didn't see any injuries tonight as the Vikings playing well. And, you're a team like Wichita Trinity, when they lose some players to soccer, they're going to have a little mixed bag, but you still didn't let that bother you. You still played very efficiently.
No, we did. We didn't play down to the competition, which we were happy about. And we were a little bit concerned about as a coach. You're always going to be concerned about that. But our guys came out and got after him right away and didn't let up. Everybody played as hard as they possibly could that was in the game for us. And, that's something we take pride in, Whether we're up by 40 or down by 40, we want our kids to play hard.
And they did. They certainly did. You got some freshmen or some seniors in that don't get a lot of playing time either, too. And nice to see the sideline just being so supportive of those kids that don't get a chance to play very much.
Yeah, it was. Well, one of those kids was our foreign exchange student, Colin Silver, and of course our guys at halftime we talked about and made, we questioned him about where we could put him and what was the best, where he knew and was confident, and I'll be darned if he didn't go out there and block a guy.
He did. I saw that one on the far side.
He blocked him 2 or 3 times. So
that was a special moment for him.
No, it was, and he can get back to his folks in Sweden, and they can see it on the internet. Maybe they watch it on the internet. Tonight, so hopefully, special moment for that kid for sure. So.
Any final thoughts on the season as a whole? I know, like you said, the guys played so hard and kept practicing so hard. A 3-6 season is not what we are used to here at Smoky Valley, but super job by your coaching staff and all the players.
Yeah, well, what I will remember most about this season is it's a quote that's important to me. I have it in my classroom, and it's by Winston Churchill, and he said his definition of success is being able to go from failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm. And our guys did not lose their enthusiasm or their love for playing the game or for playing the game hard and trying to execute whatever the game plan was that we had set for them, despite how the challenge of who we were going to play. Our kids were locked in, and every Monday we came in there and gave them the game plan, and they worked hard all week long to try to execute it every Friday night. And finally, last Friday night, they got rewarded and played just super. And what I'm going to remember most about this year is these seniors and how they held this group together. They didn't get down on anybody. They didn't point any fingers. They didn't blame anybody. And they led us in a positive way.
Outstanding group of leaders.
Right. And never gave up and never quit and kept fighting and fighting and fighting. And I'm so glad that I got to be a part of that, because last Friday night was as rewarding of a win for a coaching staff
sure.
as you can ask for. Just as rewarding as winning a state championship. It really was gratifying because we knew those kids earned it, and they did it the hard way, and they weren't looking for easy, and they never made excuses. So that's what I'm going to remember most about this season, and it's really gratifying and fulfilling as a coach.
It is, and you guys have done a super job of keeping them motivated and working hard with them. So we appreciate all that you've come down every week and talked to us at those difficult weeks, but pass on the congratulations from all of us to all the coaching staff and all the players, because it's certainly been a fun year to broadcast for the Vikings.
Well, thank you very much, and we're glad we ended it the way we did. Very, very positive.
James Henderson of the Viking coaching staff, and year in and week in and week out, coming down to join us for the post-game show. And again, the Vikings win at 48-0 after a 42-21 victory last week. So the Vikings started off and got a 3-and-out. Trinity Academy started the game. They got a 3-and-out, and the Vikings then put together a 4-play, 73-yard drive, capped off by a 12-yard Raleigh Wilson run for a 6-0 lead as the 2-point conversion failed. And the Vikings again 3-and-out and got the offense rolling again. This time Trey Kennedy highlighted a 5-play, 78-yard drive. His 52-yard run was the touchdown, and it was 14-0 after a 2-point conversion by Andrew Peters. Then late first quarter, an 11-yard Trey Kennedy run. A point after kick by Malm was good, and it was 21-0 with just under a minute left here in the first quarter. And the Vikings opened up the second quarter. Kennedy again scoring from 10 yards out, this time at the 9-10 mark. A Malm point after was good, and it was 27-0. The point after kick was no good. That was a 7-play, 54-yard drive. And then Andrew Peters on the next possession intercepted the ball, setting the Vikings up on a short field. A 4-play, 18-yard drive culminated in a Court Shugan 4-yard run. The point after Malm kick was good, and it was 34-0. And then just before halftime, the Vikings scored on a pick six by Brant Hebel, a 30-yard run after the catch. The Malm point after was good, and it was 41-0. And then the Vikings took the opening kickoff and drove it down a 12-play, 68-yard to cap the scoring. Jake Lucas got in on the scoring. Point after by Malm was good, and it was 48-0. Then the Vikings ran out this clock from there. But a very good win for the Vikings. And wow, where do we start with the postseason and the postseason and all the season?
Jason, you want to take us with some stats? We'll get a little taste of what the Vikings were able to do tonight on the offensive and defensive ends.
And just a dominant performance by Smoky Valley, especially looking at the stats. Trinity Academy with 1 total yard of offense in 25 plays to Smoky Valley's 60 plays for 469 yards. Total passing, 7 for Trinity Academy and 17 for Smoky Valley. -6 yards rushing on the night for Trinity Academy to 452 for Smoky Valley. First downs, Trinity Academy with 2 and Smoky Valley with 26. 25 of those coming on the ground. Third down conversions, 1 for 7 Trinity Academy and 6 for 9 Smoky Valley. Individually for Trinity Academy, Grant Dunham, 3 for 19 passing, 7 yards, 0 touchdowns, and then 3 interceptions. Rushing for Trinity Academy, Logan Burgess, 1 carry for -1 yards. Miko Lumapis, 3 carries for -2 yards. Grant Dunham, 2 carries for -3 yards. Receiving, Keyshawn Martin, 1 catch for 9 yards. Defensively, leading the way, Jack Adams with 11.5 tackles, David Spencer, 11 tackles, and Keyshawn Martin with 9 tackles. For Smoky Valley individually, Jake Lucas, 2 for 3 with 17 yards passing. Cade Blanchett, 0 for 2 with 0 yards. Rushing for Smoky Valley, Trey Kennedy, 13 carries for 139 yards and 3 touchdowns. Raleigh Wilson, 10 carries for 136 yards and a touchdown. And Tristan Stambaugh, 12 carries for 80 yards. Court Shugren, 6 carries for 41 yards and a touchdown. Andrew Peters, 5 for 33. Jake Lucas, 5 for 12 with a touchdown. Austin Sharp, 2 carries for 7 yards. Cade Blanchett, 1 carry for 5 yards. And Justice Autry, 1 carry for -1 yards. Brewster Bingston leading the way receiving with 1 catch for 12 yards. And Caden Venables, 1 catch for 5 yards. Defensively, individually, Haven Lysell Stewart and Raleigh Wilson leading the way with 2.5 tackles each. Andrew Peters with 2 tackles, also the interception. Court Shugren, 2 tackles. Tristan Stambaugh, 1.5. Skylar Hopkins, 1 tackle. Brant Hebel, 1 tackle with the interception as well. Brewster Bingston, Justin Holt with a tackle. Caden Venables, Leroy Bean, Nolan Dower, half a tackle. And Max Beaker with 1 interception. Also, kicking, Brandon Malm with 4 extra points tonight kicking as well. Some of the season stats for the season, Jake Lucas ends up 35 for 78 with 443 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Trey Kennedy, 159 yards rushing on the season, or 159 rushing attempts for 827 yards and 8 touchdowns. For his career, that gives him 174 carries, 887 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Raleigh Wilson, 123 carries on the season for 591 yards and 6 touchdowns. And then for his career, 163 carries, 771 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Leading the way defensively for Smoky Valley, Raleigh Wilson, 75 tackles on the season. Haven Lysell Stewart, 66 tackles on the season. Andrew Peters, 53. And Trey Kennedy, 43.
It's time now for the Next Tech Wireless Player of the Game. Lowest rates, flexible plans, exceptional customer service for everywhere you are. Say goodbye to being just a number. Say hello to something different at Next Tech Wireless. There's a lot of great numbers tonight. You can't look past any of those because they were phenomenal. But I want to go back to what Coach Henderson said tonight in his interview. What a class act these seniors were, I think, going out this season and what those guys had to persevere through and the struggles they went through this year. Not that it wasn't collective, but he mentioned the leadership of those seniors and how those guys fought for one another and fought for their teammates. I want to throw those whole seniors in the mix tonight.
Well, I think we did last week, and I don't have any reason to say we shouldn't echo that again because that is how you lead by example, and they were a group that led by example, and they showed that week in and week out. And the coaching staff, even at quarterback club, they told the guys, you know, they're fighting hard, they're practicing hard, their attitude's good, and they're getting better each and every week. And that's what if you get better every week, good things are going to happen, and that's what these last 2 wins are about. Good things happening to a group that works hard.
Yeah, and hats off to the coaching staff. We haven't mentioned them as much this year as what we have in the past at times, but of course the assistant coaches, James Henderson, Chris McClure, Ben Elliott, Alan Meyer, and Chuck Peters, and of course head coach Tim Lambert. Not week in and week out, despite some of those weeks with us playing against guys that were 20 or 30 pounds heavier than us across the line, we continue to come out and battle. You know, the game that stands out to me is Halstead still when we, got him stopped down at the end zone and made a big play midway through the second quarter and unfortunately fumbled the ball back to him. But, that was a turning point right there in that game. But I felt like our guys really went toe-to-toe with a solid program at that point in time, one of the most solid programs in the state, although they are struggling tonight. But that just kind of tells you that kind of energy these guys put out and the effort that our coaching staff does to prepare those guys week in and week out.
No question about that. We'll get to some final scores now. El Saline 27, Oakley 14 is a final. MAC over Abilene 63-7. Trent Sanchez always adds a couple of things. This is Abilene's first winless season since 1967. So, wow, that's been a long streak that they finally had another winless season. And MAC will host Goddard next week. Goddard upset them. I went to that game last week at the semifinals of the state tournament, and they lost at home. So that'll be a big matchup there in McPherson next week. Mays South 31, Salina South 0. Other scores, I don't have any other finals, although Plainville will beat Sacred Heart. It's 56-0 after 3 quarters. And again, our score 48-0 Vikings. What do you got for some other scores?
I had Cheney up 37-6 on Rock Creek. Hillsboro 49-0 over Pleasanton. Hoisington finishes off Southwestern Heights 47-0. The big games that I'm surprised, or not, maybe not surprised by, Clearwater ends up defeating Heston tonight 35-21, so that will send Heston home. And last note, I had number 2 ranked Halstead down to Collegiate 28-14. That was with 6:26 to play in the game. Colby Oliver Nickerson 35-0. Phillipsburg Lions 44-7. Russell and Pratt were not at 14 all. Last I saw, Concordia up on Hugoton 29-12. Bueller was in a close one with Wellington 12-7.
Well, that kind of wraps up the season and wraps up the scoring. And don't forget the Wheat State scoreboard coming up on locally by Remax Advantage Realtors tonight from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSA. I'll get a recap of this game and scores from other area and other area wraps from various broadcasters across the Sunflower State. That's the Wheat State Scoreboard Show brought to you locally by Remax Advantage Realtors from 10 to 11 on Sports Radio 1150 KSAL. Any final thoughts on the whole season, tonight's game, or anything else you'd like to chip in?
And just hats off to this squad again for continuing to work like we mentioned before. Jason mentioned some awesome stats. No, we didn't have a 1,000-yard rusher this year, but again, I thought our guys competed night in, night out, did what they had to do. Jason?
I think it's a great way for the seniors to go out, ending the season 2-0, and we also got to see tonight a preview of some of the guys playing for next year.
Yeah, no question about that. It'll be a young group that'll come in. Low numbers on the juniors and seniors for next year, coming up to be seniors or juniors and seniors next year. So there'll be some of those sophomores that are going to chip in quite a bit because there's a lot of freshmen out there doing a lot of things. And so I want to thank you guys for chipping in every week. It's so nice to have stats. We can get there. I want to thank Mike Rose for doing his on this live.smokyvalley.org. It's a pleasure. I don't know how many we had listening tonight or watching tonight, but a big number for that. And Mike does a great job in it. And we'd love to be able to do that both home and away, and we'll see if we can make that work. But it's been a fun football season, and unfortunately it has to come to an end on the regular season, Game 9.
It does. Good luck tomorrow to Gracie Lambert and Ryan Helene at State for cross country, and then we turn our attentions to basketball. And like we said before, late night in the Valley, November 22nd. That'll start roughly about 5:30 in the evening. Should be a great night of food, fun, and basketball for both the boys and girls programs. And then we tip off, I think, December the 6th, if I'm not mistaken, at Abilene. So hopefully they can continue to go from a losing football season to maybe lose that first basketball game of the year, too. We'll hope and we'll be optimistic. But, again, great fall, I think, overall from what our guys and girls were able to accomplish in all the sports. And now we want to turn our attention to basketball, to wrestling, and get that winter season going here relatively soon. Guys and girls both get a couple of weeks off before we start practices, and then we'll get going.
Yeah, don't forget Bethany football tomorrow down at Friends. Bethany volleyball ahead 2-1 in their third or fourth set here in Han Gym right here behind us. So that's going on as we speak, and lots of the men's soccer team is out here getting ready to practice. So many activities in this transition season between fall sports and winter sports. Bethany women's basketball tomorrow afternoon here at Han Gymnasium. So lots of things going on. And again, Jared, we thank you for being with us each and every week from the booth back there at the station. And that'll wrap it up for Jared back at the station. For Jason, for Doug, this is Don wishing everybody a very pleasant good night. We'll talk to you next fall from football. But again, like Doug said, the first Friday in December, we'll have that broadcast on the road at Abilene. Take care, everyone. It's been a fun season, and good night.
Lindsborg